What's going on, everybody? You guys are gonna have to go through setup with me. I just came downstairs from getting the kiddo to sleep. Always a fun time. Always a fun time. I told him for the last 5 minutes that I had to go downstairs and go to work. And he said, but I want daddy tucks, because I had already did the daddy cuddles. And I said, well, then let's tuck you in now because I'm going to have to go downstairs. And he kept saying, but can I finish this real quick? And I'm like, Braden, you have now 4 minutes. And he just basically kept ignoring me. And then finally it came time and I was like, is it okay if mommy tucks you in because I'm going to have to leave? No, I want you to tuck me in. And he sat there and wasted 5 minutes, and he learned the hard way that what it means when you run out of time. Because then he started crying when I left and I didn't go back. Mommy had to intervene. Feel bad for her, but there's only one way to teach the kid, and he just hopefully learned a lesson. What's up, Mom? How are you doing? Where are you home? Where are you? I don't remember seeing you come home. Yeah. If he's anything like me, it'll take him a while to learn the lesson, but he'll figure it out. He will figure it out. What about this spy? What about this spy? What is this thing doing? I mean, at this point, even if we get some kind of crazy correction, like if we like really scroll out and look at the corrections this thing has had, I mean, look at what the virus did. I mean, even if we had that kind of correction, it's literally just going to come back probably to that area right there. I mean, maybe if it breaks through that, like there, I mean, that's a huge drop. It's almost like that's their plan, is to inject the money into the market, make it go up high enough so that when it does have a correction, it doesn't come back down below those levels. Like, I almost feel like that's what's happening. It's kind of crazy. Oh, you're at dinner? FOMO profit in the house? Nice, nice. I did. I went to Micro Center, man. I'm never going to Micro Center and not getting some balls. Wouldn't really make sense to not get them. I just ran around outside for like ever, and I got my hat all sweaty, and most of my other hats are upstairs, and I didn't feel like running back up there. Starting to think I might go no hat tonight. How do I look? Can I pull off the no hat look? Just got a haircut, so it's not too bad. I wasn't being a bad dad. You know, sometimes you gotta teach them a lesson, and you know, it is what it is. I guess we can kind of go over our trades from the week, even though there wasn't many. Today we got a trade on GCI. Previous high all the way down there. Previous resistance from the pre-market. Got a nice little move up through a whole dollar. Whole dollar is right there. Went all the way up to what is it, 640. I think we got in before that. I don't even know. You know what? I never even time-stamped my trade today. It was just, it was a busy day. My dad came over randomly. Mom came up to talk for a little bit, and then I ended up going bowling. It got really slow. Yeah, it was it's an interesting day. Just realized you guys can't hear anything that I can hear. Let me get some music flowing while I do this. Find my one trade of the day. Hey, let's watch it together, shall we? My one trade. Can kind of go over it that way. See if we can learn anything. It's always fun. Shuffle this. What did he smash into? Oh, come on. Shin, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Where did that go? There it is. Put that over here. Yeah, Micro Center, boys. Take a look. Be a little jelly. Just a little bit. It's the, I don't know if you can see it. The 10 850K. They have it at Micro Center right now for 320 bucks. You can see what the MSRP on it is. But, I mean, even if you go to Amazon, Amazon has it for, I think it was 5 or 400 I meant. Yeah, 410. So their price is 410. But Micro Center, I wonder if this is, no, it's a combo. It's 320 bucks. Crazy. It's basically half price off their MSRP, but their MSRP is too high anyway. Obviously, I mean, you saw Amazon has it for 400 bucks, but I mean, that's just a ridiculous price for what it is. So I couldn't pass that up. Ended up getting, bought a new case too. I have it in the other room. I ended up getting this for the fan. It's the new version 2 of the Hyper 212. Can't go without that. I got the Tough Z570. Computer parts. It was the, where is it? This one right here. The Z, or 590. Why did I say? I don't know why I said what I did. The Tough Z590 Plus. This is what I got from my Mobo. And then I did get a case too. It was the, was it a Cooler Master? No, it wasn't a Cooler Master. Corsair. Duh. It was a 4,000 something. Yeah, no. Corsair 4,000. We'll just see if it comes up. Just do mid towers. I'm sure it'll come up under that. Mid tower 4,000. There it is. No, that's not it either. What the heck? Mid tower in Corsair. Let's try that. There it is. See, it says 4,000. Why didn't it come? Maybe because it's 4,000D. I don't know. But this is the tower that I got. I like breathability. I don't even keep a side, like, so this side over here, I don't even keep that on my current computer. I just leave it open. I like to keep it nice and cool in there if possible. And I just think it looks cool to be able to see the inside of the computer. So I'm not a RGB guy. I like just keeping everything nice and dark and to the point. No, I think, look, I said that before I even read what Thomas said. Will I do a tutorial on installing it? Why? Who needs a tutorial on installing computer parts? I mean, there's a million of them on YouTube already. I mean, I guess I can... I think eventually when I finally do a video of my new setup, I will probably like do some close-ups and whatnot of my computer, which will be my new computer at that time. But I don't really have any plans to do a video on installing the computer parts. It doesn't really make sense to do. Only jelly if you would have gotten that badass AMD you showed me. Dude, this is just as fast as the AMD. This has 10 cores. The 900 only had 8. The AMD had 12, right? Was it 10 or 12? I think it was 12. But yeah, this thing has 10 cores, so I'm not really complaining. I'm actually really excited. I'm probably going to end up doing this tomorrow. I have to kind of swap some parts out of my current computer, but then I'll slowly piece together that when I want to build the new one for my son whenever that comes. Yeah, it's 12. I remember it was 12. Yeah, I figured since GDT wasn't joining, no one really else wanted to play poker with me, so I kind of took that out of the title for at least the time being. Can always try to get a game going if people are interested. Been a while. How's your trading going? Are you up huge? Mine is wide open. It's a mess, but it still runs great. So easy. Oh, you're talking about the computer. Trading's been going good. I think we finally found some consistency. So there's that. We just started scaling up. So about a month and a half ago, ish, something like that. Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, I could start putting it together on the stream. I mean, I was planning on just starting to put it together tomorrow, but I guess there's really, if we run out of other things to talk about as far as day trading, what the heck is going on with me? Where are you at dinner, Ma? That you can watch me and listen at the same time. I would play, but I would lose, and I don't like to. Yeah, nobody likes it. Let's watch this trade. Let's see what happens here. Look at you. You can tell by my face that I'm getting ready to do something. I always got that confused look on my face when I'm about to do something stupid. Apparently, we haven't even brought the chart up. I thought I was right near the. Oh, there it is. All right. So, probably going off on the scanner. You can see I type it in, and I'm like, "Ooh, look at my face. Look how serious I got there. Just for a split second, I'm like, "Ooh, okay. Finally, something that looks good." I'm looking at it. So, here's what I'm looking at. Let me pull up my little pen. I want to try to give you guys as deep as a dive into my brain as I possibly can. Oh yeah, look at that. Buy Epic Pen Pro. I've been meaning to do this. I wonder how much it is though. It's more than $10. I'm not getting it. Doesn't even tell you. Oh, $17.50. No, I'm not doing it. For a freaking pen that I can just use the standard stuff on. All right. So what am I looking at here? I am looking at when I first pull up a chart. Now keep in mind, this is something I'm going to be selling later on at some point. So maybe mark down this live stream to keep it available. But you know how I always say that everything you can learn from a guru that's selling a course that also did YouTube probably told you everything that's in that course on YouTube at some point. And this is going to be one of them. So yes, yesterday's high all the way down here at 561. I'm not looking at that because pre-market we had this move, right? We had all of this new action with a pretty obvious resistance level right there. The pro level allows you to draw straight lines, and just that alone, I wonder if they do that on purpose. They like make it so it does that. But anyways, you get the idea. I'm looking for that last area that was previous resistance. I am also looking for it to be clear of anything to the left. If there's one thing I say in Discord, or if you guys watch the live stream that I say it all the time, I do not like something that would look like this, where it has all this action, comes down, finds a base, and then shoots back up, and then say it's double topping here. That is not what I look for. I do not like trading inside of a range. And everyone knows that I do not like double tops, because what is a double top? A double top is, yes, a major resistance. But what happens when that resistance gets broke? It breaks out, right? Gave you a second to try to answer that yourself. So if you try to get in at the double top, so say this is a double top right here, after it was doing all this, obviously this didn't, but I'm just giving you an example. If you get in here, right, and say you are doing like a 1-1-2 strategy, well, here's your 1, and now it breaks out. Well, you already got an entry, and that entry was probably the worst entry you could get, because now when it breaks up through 650, right, if it goes up through 650 and then goes to like 660, 670, which is where you'd be looking to enter, right, on the north side of a $0.50 or a whole dollar, now that's where you're getting your add, which is then going to bring your average somewhere, around like here, around that 645 area. So now you need it to come back down, test that previous resistance area, and hope that it uses, hope that it tries to use it as support. Obviously, you don't want it to use it as support if you're short, but hopefully it comes back down to that area and tries to test it, and then, decides what it wants to do from there. But at that point, your average is about 50% of the move. And that happens a lot. If the double top works, sure, it works, but it's a higher risk play than playing this move up through the double top, because the odds are it's going to come down and retest that area again. And if it uses it as support or it goes right through, who knows? We don't really care, right? Because that's not what we're looking for. So my thought process when I pull a chart is I look for that previous resistance, and then I'm looking for the extension away from it, and then I'm looking for it to come back down and try to retest it. Now, in theory, that's what I would do every single time, right? I would take it. Look, I just drew a straight line. I would take my entry and then try to exit at that previous resistance. However, what usually happens, especially on stocks that are strong, is you get a move up like this. It'll retrace about half the move, and then it'll try to bounce. Now, what it does on this bounce, whether it goes back to high of day, whether it goes like this, I don't know what it's going to do. The high probability play is this intense move into this pullback. That's the high probability play. That's what I look for. That's why I play the front side and I look for that pullback. That's the strategy, right? So key point number one, pulling it up, basically nothing to the left, right? Look at this. It's no man's land over here from yesterday. We have a previous resistance and we have an extension away from that previous resistance. The next thing I look for, obviously we're looking for, so some of the obvious things that I skip because I don't even realize that I do them anymore, but they are part of it, obviously needs to have volume, right? It has to have volume. We're right at the bell, so you're most likely going to get some volume on things that are moving. However, a little bit later in the day, like say 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that's when you start getting the VONs, VON. I made that abbreviation up. It stands for volume out of nowhere. So you'll have tickers that are like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and then boom, like you just get some random volume out of nowhere volume bar and the price shoots up, right? What is that, right? It's usually news of some sort. And when you have something that's news of some sort, what is it doing? Especially if it goes right into a halt. You have no idea where it's coming out of that halt, right? I mean, obviously you can look at the imbalance and see where it's going to open up, but you don't know what the news is right away. You don't know any of that. So if you jump in on the front side of this thing and then it opens up at $9, and I've been there, what do? You can't do anything. So I have a rule that if I do play these volume out of nowheres, right? If there's volume out of nowhere, it shoots right up and it halts, or even if it doesn't halt, on that first candle, I'm going to let it do its thing, because if it's some kind of they cured cancer news, it's going to go right into a halt. If it's some kind of buyout and the price is way up higher, it's going to halt. Like a lot of news events that come out, it's going to cause the stock to go right into a halt because people think that the stock, think that the news is that good. That's why I wait. And then out of the halt, we can, determine what we want to do after that. However, if you get volume out of nowhere and it goes up, tries to pull back, and then, or even on the same candle, it goes up, tries to pull back, goes a little higher, tries to pull back, tries to go a little bit higher. Now I'm interested because now I can tell that on this first candle, it's struggling to go into the halt. So there's a lot of people that, are like buying the news, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that realize the news is not that good. So they're just selling into this pop essentially. And with that said, I am looking, obviously I'm still looking for an obvious spot where like it, comes down, tries to go higher, comes down, goes a little bit higher. I'm waiting for that one time where it tries to go higher again and doesn't, right? And it fails. That's like your essential jiggle spot, because now no one's willing to buy above that price. So that's where I'd be looking to get short on something. And it usually doesn't happen on that first candle. Usually it'll be something like this. You'll have a little pullback. It'll go a little higher. Same thing, a little pullback, come a little bit higher. and then, and then it starts to come back down. Like maybe it tried to go back higher again, couldn't, gets rejected, and then that's when I'd be looking to get in on something like that. So in this case, previous resistance, I know that was a lot. And again, go back and watch it again. It's a lot of information, but it's one of those things where the more and more you see it, the more and more experience that you get with it, the more and more it becomes easier to understand. And again, this is why I think eventually when, I can scale up and, prove that whether it's $50 a day or $500 a day, it doesn't really matter, that it's a system and it works. That's what really matters. Jag, what's up, man? Nice, Thomas. That's a nice mouse. I was actually playing with that at Micro Center. I was like, "Ooh, what's this mouse?" It was out on display. Of course, I used hand sanitizer right after. Do you prefer previous day resistance over any other type of resistance? A lot of times, this move is usually through previous day's highs. So that's usually why I keep this line up there at all times. In this case, it happened to be pre-market highs. So now that we know when we first pull a chart up, we're looking for volume, we're looking for previous resistance with nothing to the left, and we're looking for extension through, this is the next thing we look for, through a whole dollar or a half dollar. They're key areas. They're key areas that everyone looks at, and those key areas are important because they're going to break out through them, and then they're going to come back in most cases and retest them. Stock market it goes in waves, and the odds are when you get a breakout, when it has a pullback, it's going to look for a key area, whether that be a previous resistance, whether it be a whole dollar, whatever it is, it's going to be attracted to that price, right? Most people that are going to take profit are going to be looking for those areas. People that are selling, when they see it come back towards that area, they're going to be selling because they don't want it to go back below those areas. It's just a key area. It's a mental thing. It's what everyone looks for, right? So this pretty much checks all of our boxes, right? Now, the last thing we need is we need speed. And this is one of the things that's going to be really hard to teach in the future, because how do you teach speed? What is speed? What is FOMO? And the best way that I found, I thought that was a hat was sewn on your head? What? What are you talking about? Now you forget what I was saying. Oh, the best way that I found to describe it is when it starts moving, you're kind of paying attention to the ask, right? I only use level 1. So essentially it's this number right here, the 634, if I can draw a number or a circle. So I'm looking for the candle to go up, up, and just keep going straight up until it doesn't. And I'm looking for basically that first time where it starts to come back down. And let's just hit play and see if you guys can spot it. So I'm going to go back just a little bit so you can kind of see it as it's going up, as I type it in. So we come here, it's at 628 high. All right, ask. See the ask it and hit, ask it and hit. Got my order ready already. Ask it and hit. It is a little bit slower, but you can see ask it and hit, ask it and hit. Boom. Did you see it? I mean, it's that quick. It is that quick, especially on ones that are moving a little bit slower. Let's go back. So as it's going up, I want you to see there's no selling pressure. There's absolutely no selling pressure until what I'm going to consider on this stock to be the jiggle, where the jiggle is not necessarily a jiggle in all cases, right? Sometimes you're just looking for the ask to stop getting hit. You're looking for that first sign of selling pressure, and then that's when you can jump in. Sure, you can get a better fill, and sometimes if you guess the top, but I'm not trying to guess the top. I'm trying to just get as close to the top as I can. So let's watch it again. Ask, 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 bid, right? So that was the first time the bid got hit that entire way up there, right? And once that bid got hit, that's when we got in because we're looking for that immediate drop. So let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure this actually does try to go a little bit higher, but then you can actually see, as slow as this was actually a jiggle in the making. It was just a little bit slower. And see how it's not going up or down at this point? So it's like 640 is the high, but see how it tried to go up to 640 and failed? It got the 638 on the ask, failed. So basically this is the jiggle happening. It's just slow. It was so slow that I started looking at other trades. It was early. I mean, it was only 4 minutes into the bell, so I didn't want to miss anything in case something else popped up. Little did I know this was the only trade I would get all day. So there we go. Get the drop down. Missed this by 4 cents there. But I do leave it. Again, I actually wasn't too, like, I didn't like that VWAP caught up as quick as it did. But if it wanted to run, I was okay because, you know, we were a relatively small position with just 100 shares here. So if it wanted to run up through 650, I had no problem. That would be an instance where I would most likely hit a 1-2 instead of a 1-1-2, just because I would want to get my average up. But then, out of nowhere, you'll see that we actually get filled before the level 1, level 2, or whatever ever even catches up. So you can see it executed a buy at 617. It never even got below 621 yet, but then it does catch up right thereafter. So it ended up being an early trade, which was a little frustrating, but it was a pretty good trade. But again, I don't know if this, I mean, I guess we can check. I was going to say, I don't know if this, it did. So it did end up coming back to that area. And wouldn't you know, it used it as resistance. Who would have thought? Or support. So the big move up, we got our short, got our cover, which was pretty much the bottom. And I mean, this couldn't be more picture perfect. What the intense move into the pullback, what it does after that, I don't care. That's not the probable. That's not the probable part. This is what the probable part is. This is the edge. This is my strategy. Looking for the intense move up into the pullback, which is about 50% of the move. Let's fib this. Now I'm curious. Let's see. Fib. Pretty sure I only have the 50% on here. So let's see if I can get it right on the line or not. No, I guess I changed it. So where's 50%? 617. What was my order at? 617. Tell me that wasn't, and you didn't see me draw fibs in the trade. It's just me eyeballing it. It's just from me doing it so many times over and over again. But I mean, that's essentially what we're looking for. Looking for the move, and then we're looking for about 50% of that move back down. And it was almost to a T, right? It went to 616. And then it went back up, tried high of day, tried it again. It actually built lower or higher support, and it almost looked like an ascending triangle. Had a fake out breakout, and then it failed. But look at what it did. Came right down to that previous resistance and used it as support. Like I said, if you want to endure all of this pain, the odds are if it does eventually break down, that's the area you'd be looking for. If you could start a position and always look for that previous resistance as support, it happens all the time. All the time. I wish I need to start doing what I used to do. I would take pictures of my trades at the end of the day so I could see what they did throughout the rest of the day. And I swear, like, mostly all of them would eventually retest. And sometimes they'll break, sometimes they, bounce, but they always try to use those areas. But that's just not the kind of trader that I am. So, all right, let me catch up with you guys. But I mean, that is my strategy in a nutshell for when it works on a single entry. Most people wear hats all the time to cover up a bald spot, but he has a full head of hair. He just doesn't want to comb it. Yeah, I don't have like a bald spot or anything. I've worn a hat my entire life. I'm a baseball player. I always wear a hat. I don't know. It's just, it's comfortable. Not this one though. I need to wear, this is actually, this hat is probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years old, but I don't ever wear it. And my head grew a little bit since I bought this hat. So it's a little tight at the moment, but I also don't want to stretch it out because I'm trying to lose weight and then it might be too big. I have quite the hat collection. I have favorite hats. I don't wear all my hats. I did get a nice haircut. When I style my hair, I mean, I'm sure I look fine without a hat. I just don't ever not wear a hat. That's why you wear one. Aren't you like actually bald though? You didn't shave. Well, you didn't scalp my head. You used to shave it just like with hair on it, which just looks so bad. But it was cheap. We were poor. Should have had him shape the beard. It looks crooked. You're such a jerk. So that's what I think. I need a knife. Oh, I wonder. I'm gonna use my my extra stick of RAM to cut the tape. It's not working. Apparently, it's not very sharp. I was testing when I put all 4 sticks of RAM in together. I get the blue screen of death a lot, even though they're like the same speed, frequencies, and everything. So I was doing tests on each single stick, and they all work when they're by themselves, like when I do a RAM test. So I'm confused. So I'm actually going to try putting them all in and then running the test tonight to see if that makes a difference, see if it fails overnight. I don't have anything sharp in here to open this. I guess I could just use this pen, but I was trying not to cut it, or rip it, I mean. There we go, that works. Bald and a full beard? Dude, there's some guys that can pull that off. It's been a while since I've used thermal paste that I didn't buy. I was actually curious, because I just threw that away. I was curious if the chips came with thermal paste, and my answer so far is what I thought it would be, which is a no. And I highly doubt that this comes with it. I'm assuming this is just a fan. This thing is massive. I almost got a smaller case, because I was there and I saw some of these smaller cases and they looked really cool, and I was like, wow, it's very like, you know, minimalistic, and I was like, I really wanted to get it, but I was like, I don't know if it would fit everything, like, and especially like, you know, the giant ass graphics card, and I knew I was getting the Hyper Evo. I was like, I don't know if that'll fit. Maybe, or is this just the parts? Yeah. Damn. Oh wait. I see. It looks like a tube. What is that? Oh yeah, boy. It does come with some. Sweet. You don't really need any special kind. Oh, thank the Lord. There's our thermal paste. That's good to know that the fan came with it. Oh, I'm even more happy because now I can do this. I mean, I could have just ordered some on Amazon real quick. But I'm so excited for this fan because one of my main issues all the time was dealing with the CPU fan getting in the way of RAM. And now with this one, the reason they built it the way they did is so that it won't get in the way. Look at this thing, it's massive. It's as big as my head. This thing is freaking massive. Give it a little. Let's see if I can trip you out a little bit with the logo. Like a kid in a candy store. Alright, let's put this back in so I don't scratch it up or whatever. Alrighty. AMD comes already applied. What are you talking about? Do they really? They have the CPU fans already attached to the chip? How? How do you get the chip into the board? That's not true. I can do a push pull. I can do whatever I want, dude. The side of my box, the side of the tower is going to be open. I have a VT sticker. Put that on there. I was actually just talking to David earlier about changing the name to something more professional, but I don't know. I really kind of like it. I mean, it's not the worst name, but it's definitely not the best name. It's just kind of something I came up with. You can't tell that it's a push-pull. That's the problem. Like, could you use an Xbox controller to trade? Oh, I'm sure. I could use my VR headset to trade. I've done it before. I actually plan to do it again at some point. Wait, what were you laughing? So you're gonna lose weight in your head? Yeah, you do. Dude, your head gets bigger. There's a reason when you gain weight, your face goes like that. You gain like fat. Fat does get stored in your face. It's a reason why fat people have fat faces. Just saying. Well, that was the thing. I was thinking about actually using my name and just leaving it as VT, since my last name starts with V. But I don't know. We'll see. I really actually like the name, and it works so well with my strategy, so. Where's my food? Where's my food? What is it? Making schnitzels?
No schnitzels. We ate all the worst.
The bratwurst? The schnitzels?
No schnitzels.
You should get some beer and drink it out the boot?
Schwein and sour braten.
Braten? You get the sauerkraut?
And some bratwurst.
Bratwurst?
Some cabbage, dumplings.
Dumpling? They said dumplings? Dumplings?
A potato.
Oh.
Apple dumpling.
You get out of my office.
Nine!
We'll seek people after you. That was my mom. I wouldn't say that to her. I just ask her where the meatloaf is. Now that I made a mess on my desk. The reason I even brought those in here is because I wanted to see if the thermal paste was in there. DM, what's up, player? Ma, the meatloaf. Somebody asked some questions. I want to kind of get back into the old school of these Friday night live streams where we actually are productive. So I want to be productive for you, and I want you to be productive for me. So ask some questions. Give me some likes on the video. I said there's only 5 likes. What is that all about? There's 16 of you in here apparently. And let's be productive. Let me bring up my TraderSync. I'll show you guys where we're at on the week. It was not a great week. Monday was our only, or well, not Monday. Wednesday was our only good day. It was the only day we hit goal, I should say. Let me close this Epic Pen. How do I always forget how to close this. Last 7 days, apply. So yeah, pretty slow day or week, but not really gonna complain too much. Almost 100% in the win column, but we only got 13 trades, and one of them being a loss. So not a fun week. sitting on our hands quite a lot. If we take a look at the calendar, you can see Monday, 24.70, Tuesday, $1.72. That was when we had the loss. And then we got some back on that same trade, and then we took another trade on another ticker. And then Wednesday was beautiful. This felt like what, to me, a normal day should feel like. However, that was the only day of the week that we had that was like that. I woke up the next day super excited to have another day like Wednesday, and I didn't trade at all in the morning. I believe our one trade was in the afternoon after the stream. And then today, we had the one trade at the bell, and that was it. So, pretty frustrating. Probably shouldn't have traded at all on Tuesday. So, the 13 trades probably should have been 10. I kind of FOMO'd into those trades because I was just bored. Really wanted to do something. But let's go back to year to date and give you guys an update on that. So this is where we are year to date, still sitting at that like 82%, which has slowly went up. I think we were at like 76 earlier in the year. So we've actually been bringing that up a little bit, getting closer to that elusive 2.0 profit factor, back up to 189 after that recent max loss. I think we were at like 191 or 192 when we took that max loss on that day where we just kind of lost our shit. Yep, right here, GLOP and DTST. It's so weird too because it was like a 40 or 60, I forget what it was, like 40 or 60 dollars that I lost on GLOP, and I completely went off the walls and ended up losing 250 bucks or 240, whatever it was. It was just I just lost it. I lost, my emotions went out the window, and that's why the max loss is there, because as we talked about last week, that loss could have been way worse because both of those tickers kept on going. So that's why you have that max loss there. Take a look at the beautiful chart. It's looking good. So we just gotta keep it going. But we're sticking to our rules as far as scaling up goes. So until the market really picks back up, it's going to be hard to scale up because we need the trades to do so. But all right, let's see. I gave you guys enough time to get some questions in here. You should rename to the Cave Bear. Nah, I'm good. It's such a bad name, Vincenzo. Why would you even say that out loud? When are you going to make a how-to video on how to trade? Well, DM. If you go back earlier, I basically told my strategy in this live stream. I was actually just saying I'm probably going to be selling this, a year, 2 years from now. But I basically just said everything that I look for, and I pretty much the bare bones of the system. There's a lot of experience and whatnot that goes into it. But yeah, which I think we're about to get into from me skimming through and seeing some of the questions. Later, DM. So Jag asked, how do you choose your take profit spot? Typically, I'm looking for 50% of the move. That's the easy answer. The advanced answer is I usually look for key areas. If I think... I'm almost always taking something off at 50%, especially on a single entry. But if I think that there's room, like if the extension is amazing, like if this ran to like $7 from here and I got in around $7 and it started to drop, I'd be looking for like 650. I probably would front run 650, looking for that to be the 50% line. And if I thought that it could go through 650, since it was such a big extension, and come down here and try to test 6 as that previous resistance, I would try to keep some. I'm talking like 20% of the position, maybe even 10%. So I'm going to take the majority off at that spot because I don't want this to bounce and go back to high of day. And for some reason, I get stuck, cutting it at high of day and end up giving some back. And I don't ever want that to happen. So Usually if it comes down that far, it gives me that good first take profit. I'm not going to let it go past my break even at that point, especially if I have a really good average. So that's usually the plan. Look for 50%. If I think it was overextended, like it was a really good move, like a lot of FOMO came into that move, I'll probably take off and try to scale out instead. And a lot of times, if you ever see me scale into a position, the odds are I'm going to scale out of the position, unless I'm in a trade that I get in and then it turns out to be a trade that I don't like anymore. Then I'm usually just looking to get out of the position somewhere around break even at that point, because it's just not doing what I want and I want out. Do you use fib lines? Don't ever talk to me again. No, I don't use fib lines. The only reason I would use fibs is if I took, like, I thought I took these off to where it was just, I mean, I probably like put it back to default. But I originally had taken these off. Yeah, I must have hit default because we were talking to Devin about something. But typically when I would use fibs, it was just this, so I could try to figure out where that 50% line is. But as far as like fibs and fib extensions and stuff, I don't do that. If you're really into that, the person to talk to about that is Devin and Jag. They both use the fib lines. I do not. Explain how you use fibs and how they work in the real world and trading. No, we're not sizing up next week. I'm just going to ignore your fib questions. Don't ask me about fibs. I don't use them. Is it tough not to size up a lot when your win rate has been so high? Yes. So this goes into account size. It goes into a lot of things. Like, let me pop this out. So I've always been transparent with you guys. I have nothing to hide. So current account size. The problem is right now with, let's pull the calculator. If I'm looking to make $50 a day, the way that my system's set up, my max loss is going to be 6 times my goal. So if we times that by 6, it's $300. I recommend that no one ever risk more than 1% of their account any given day, no matter what size it is. So if you only had a $30 or $3,000 account, you should only be risking $30 a day. To me, it's that simple. It sucks 100%. And that's why I say you shouldn't start with anything less than, 5,000, because you need some liquidity. It's just how it is. I mean, these guys coming in, the guru saying you can start an account with $500 and turn it into whatever. It's because they have multiple $500 accounts that they can start with, right? So if they blow up a $500 account, they don't care. They'll just reload it until it works. $500 account, okay, whatever. We'll just reload it, and they'll just keep doing it until it works. And if it's so misleading to somebody that comes in with $500 and that's the only $500 they had saved up, and when they blow that $500, they're done. Like, they become a statistic. They were part of the 90% that comes in, tries, and fails. And the other thing is that's what they're doing, is they're risking that full $500 in one trade when they first start, these challenges or whatever, the small account challenges. And you shouldn't be doing that, right? You shouldn't be risking it all in one trade. You should never do that. But you should also not be starting with $500. If you're looking to take this serious, just learn everything that you possibly can, paper trade, until you have, I would say, a minimum of $5,000, because without some liquidity, you're just going to, like, if you want to trade somewhere that offers, no PDT and you have $5,000, you're going to have to resort to somewhere like CMEG, and you're going to have to pay commissions, and it's just going to be real hard to keep up, right? It's going to be real hard. But you shouldn't, with a higher win rate, you can obviously risk more than 1% of your account. And I'm going to be here as we scale up a little bit. But at the same time, you should do your best to never, ever risk more than 5% of your account. And even experienced traders, some of them risk more than that. Like, they'll risk 10%. I know one guy who trades a lot for a lot of money, and I'm sure you guys know who he is on Twitter. He's willing to risk 15-20% on one trade, any given trade. And to me, knowing that if the stars align, that any given day or any given week, I should say, there's 5 days in a row where 5 trades just go awry. I mean, you could be broke because you're willing to risk that much any single day. And just imagine if you have one really bad day where you lose 20% of your account. That next day, your head's going to be, all kinds of messed up, right? You're going to be in your head like, oh, I can't believe I lost 20% of my account. You're going to want to try to make it back. And if you're that kind of person and another trade comes along, it starts to not work. You're like, screw this. I'm going to make it work. And you lose another 20%. And then just by chance, it happens again. Like the martingale strategy. You hear people talk about it all the time, like people that play blackjack. What if people are playing blackjack and they just keep doubling down? Well, eventually, you're just going to run into a streak. Sure, blackjack is like a 50-50 game. Or just choose roulette, red or black. I mean, it's not 50-50 either because of the green zeros, but just imagine you could play black. How many times have you been in the casino, for anyone that's been in the casino, and you look up at those boards where it shows you the previous numbers and you just see like 10 to 15 of like just red numbers in a row or black numbers in a row? It happens. It does happen, which is why you should never be risking that much of your account on any given trade. The two things you will hear me preach, and I've already been preaching, but for the rest of my trading career, if I end up, teaching in the future, risk management and consistency. Those two things combined together will make you a profitable trader. If you can keep your risk management in check, and if you can become consistent, if you can make $50 a day, you can make $500 a day. You can make $5,000 a day. It's just another zero or another two zeros. It's literally all it is. And I've talked to people that trade that kind of size, and they say until you're making a larger amount, like I'm talking like 10,000 plus in one trade, it's no different. As long as you're trading stocks that have liquidity and they're not, stocks that only have a couple 100,000 in volume at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you're trading things that have 100, a million in volume or more. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's the same executions. It's the same everything. So if you can make $50 consistently, you can make $5,000 consistently. It's just how it is. It's just that's what this is all about, consistency. But you can't just be like, okay, well, I can make $50 a day and then just add two zeros to everything. You could, but your account size isn't going to be ready for that, right? So that's where that comes into play. And when it comes to sizing up, that's why I'm trying to do it responsibly, because I figure for every week that I don't hit my goal, which is right now it's 50 times 5. So I'm looking at the end of the week to make 250 because I want to average that $50 a day. And then when we get to that, it'll be $75 a day. And then I'll have to average $75 a day over the week. So it'll be $375. Over the course of this happening, especially during the summer when I'm not having these great days back to back to back, there's going to be weeks where I have these smaller green weeks and it's going to build the account. But at the same time, it's going to give me that cushion over where I'm currently at. So it's just going to kind of keep building that cushion higher and higher and higher. And eventually, as you scale up, your account might already be ready for it. But I want to get to a point where I'm willing to risk a little bit more of my account because I'll feel that I'm ready for it. But at the same time, I am taking that risk that I'm risking more than I would like to as far as that 1 to 2% a day. Because if I do, say, next week, scale up to $75, and then the next week I do well, I get the $375, I scale up to $100, and then say I make $500 that week, and then I scale up to $125, because from here on out, I'm going to do $25 all the way up to $200. When I get to $200, I'm going to then go from a week of doing it to a month. So I'm going to want to average that $200 a day for an entire month. And when I do that, I will go from 200 to 300, and then 300 to 400, and then 400 to 500. And I'm just going to keep doing that until $1,000. That's my plan. So I'm doing 25 every time I do it up to 200 per week. And then when I get to 200, I'm going to go every 100, but per month. And that's going to be my goal to scale up. So it's not too fast. It's not too slow in my mind, because once I get to $200 a day, I feel like I'll be happy there. taking my time and making sure my account can catch up, making sure that when I do scale up, it's not going to hurt me, because $200 times 6 is $1,200, right? So any given day, if I went right to $200 a day, trying to make $200 a day, my max loss would be $1,200. Now I don't ever come close to that on most days. But the fact that this could be my max loss, if you take 31, we'll just say 31,100 is a little bit more than that, and you or I did that backwards. It would be the 1,200 divided by 31,100. Oops. 31. That would be almost 4% of my account. And to me, it's a little too much, right? That would be a little too much. And that's just not what I want to risk. So, yeah, hopefully that answers the sizing up next week question. Or is it tough not to size up on your remote rate? It's kind of there both together. Wednesday was a good morning. Yes, it was. I feel like I'm a little behind now. Are you being systematic with your position sizing, larger, smaller size? Well, yes. So I can't show you on here. Let me see if it loads default. Okay, it did. So what I'm doing, let's go to GCI. What I'm doing is, it'll kind of work. When a move happens, I will double click where the move started. And usually VWAP's below that, but I usually use either VWAP below it or where the move started. So I would double click and you'll see the price loads into the montage. So 596. And then what I'm doing is I will hit this load button, which is just double click. It's basically this button, but it only loads it. So what it's going to do is it's going to take the current bid price, which is 626. It's going to go off of the price that I double clicked at, and it's going to say to make the amount that I want to make for half of that move. So let's look. So the full move is $30. So if I want to take half of that, right. Okay. No, that's right. Okay. I confused myself for a sec. So I'm double clicking at, say, 596, which is where the move started. I'm going to hit the DC load button. So what that's doing is it's taking the current bid and it's saying to get back down to there, you would need 100 shares to make $30. But if I'm only looking for half the move, that would be $15, right? So this was before I scaled up. This was when it was $40, I think, right? Because 15, I don't remember. Maybe this was just before I even came up with the system, because 15 doesn't make sense, because 15 times 3 is 45, which doesn't make sense. So what I did to get these numbers is I take my goal, which is $50, and I divide it by 3, which will give me the number that I want to make per trade, because I ideally want 3 trades to get to my goal. So 3 good trades, I get to my goal. And then I will then times that number by 2, because I'm looking for half of the whole move. So I need the number that I want. I times it by 2 to get the full move. So now when I double click where I think where the move started, which I think would be a full move back down, it will then give me the price for that whole move. But since I'm only looking for half of the move, that's what I would make to get that one good trade, right? That's how that works. So it is a system, and no matter what the range of a stock is, no matter the price of the stock, I'm always going to get the share size needed to get that same dollar amount. So that's what I'm after, is the dollar amount. Why did this stop? Play. All right. Tuesdays suck for me. Yeah. Wednesday is usually my worst day, so it was kind of weird that that Wednesday worked out really well. Bishop's birthday was bad for me. It's not as fun when I have to fix errors. I don't make errors. Can you make a clip in YouTube? I actually think you can now. Like you can, I don't know if it's just when videos are processed or what, but there's a clip button now. So moving does suck, I agree. Do you leave a piece on against your entry? Seems a lot like your plays fade all day. I wouldn't say that. It's very 50-50. I mean, look at this. I mean, this did come back down and test that area, but then it went all the way back up to the highs. It went high of day. I mean, it faked out, but and then finished around there, but I would say it's very 50-50. I mean, if it's a company that I know is a junk company and it's just getting pumped, those are the ones I tend to try to hold longer. Are you going to update some of the learning series playlist on the YouTube channel? I do plan. See, this is where I start to get a little guru-ish, where it's like part of me wants to start making those again, but I just don't have the time. So it's like, you know, time is money, and I hate being that person, but it's like part of me is like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I want to, you know, monetize it a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. I do plan to keep doing stuff, and I do plan to make free videos and stuff like that, obviously, but there is a part of me that's starting to feel that monetization vibe, especially because, you know, the CMEG commissions thing is kind of starting to dwindle down, so I'm starting to feel the pressure, and I don't want to put that much pressure on me scaling up too quickly, and it's there's emotions involved, that's for sure. But is there something in particular, Shin? Oh, you're talking about videos like float rotation and stuff. Yeah, I plan to still do those for free. I want to start doing those again, like where I just pick a random thing and talk about it and kind of go through my experience with it. 100% will keep doing this. But as far as like strategy goes, this probably won't be the last time I talk about it, but I have been starting to think about a way to monetize the strategy a little bit because it's working. And it's working in I only short, okay? Look at what the market's doing. If I can click properly. Look at what the market's doing. My chart that you see, oops. Can I draw? You can draw a vertical line, right? Yeah. Oh my. Oh my. So from here over is my profit chart almost looks identical to the SPY from that point on. Like there's the SPY and there's my P&L from the beginning of the year. You can see January 6th. So if I'm short biased and I'm trading only shorts while the market's doing this, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I think we might have finally figured out how to do what we, as in me, feels is the best way to trade. And that's the other thing too, is there's a million different ways to trade. My way is not going to be for everybody. Some people are just going to want to be technical traders. Some people are going to want to be swing traders. Some people just might not like the way that I trade in general. Like they just don't like the idea of it, you know, going short instead of going long. But in reality, this works both ways. Longs do work. Just, you know, in my opinions, shorts work a little bit better and quicker. It's really the main thing. But it's just one of those things where I feel like eventually we're going to have to get to a point where if you want me to talk about it, you know, I'm not trying to, again, be a guru, but it is kind of headed that way, I feel, because, I mean, I don't really know how else to say without sounding like a complete douchebag. I mean, if it works, it works. And if you have something that works, people are going to want it. I guess it's just that it's that simple. But don't worry. I know who's been here. I know who supports me and whatnot, and that will not be unforgotten. I don't take that stuff lightly. I'm like Dom Toretto, family first, Fibs do make me angry, Jag. They make me very angry. The how to set up DOS is dead? The unspoken truth? That's not dead. I actually plan to finish that at some point. I feel like I got the main videos out on DOS that are needed. All the extra stuff is just extra stuff. And plus, I feel like everyone doesn't really need the extra stuff. Learning how to set it up, the chart, the montage. I feel like those are the main things. And then like the main window, like getting all the order screens and the position screens and stuff like that. I feel like those are the main things you need, and I made that pretty clear in the video. So sell plasma for cash. I mean, I umpired for 3 years, saving money on the side. So you would run out of money, VT? Doing what? How would I run out of money doing what? How am I not at 1 million subs yet? It's because I'm not a girl. I don't do what the 90% wants me to do. And I don't get on stripper poles for thumbnails. I think that's why. If I had to give you 3 quick reasons. It's because he doesn't have LED triangles behind him. You and these LED triangles. I do have these though. See? I'm cool. I'm hip. Let's go, right? I can do some like some cool hand motions. The robot. Well, Brian, I get into this argument a lot, and I am totally not sexist. Serious. I mean, like, being completely honest, that's a joke from the Discord. But there is a reason why there's a YouTube channel took off so fast. And if you go to her YouTube channel and you look at her most popular video, by far, just look at the thumbnail. I mean, day trading is primarily dudes, right? It's primarily men. And it's probably like 98% men. So it's like, of course, when there's a halfway decently attractive person, let alone getting on a stripper pole for the thumbnail, of course they're going to watch it. And then on top of that, she is a good creator and she's funny and like she makes good content. So it's like, yes, that helps, but the fact that she's a girl, you can't deny that springs forward. That's not the word I was looking for. You can't deny that it helped move things along a lot quicker. This is what I was getting at. Why don't you trade options to grow a little faster? Because I'm not worried about growing a little faster. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the same concept. To me, the only reason people trade options, or the only reason you should trade options, is if it's a ticker that's too expensive for your account and you want to trade it. So something like Tesla. Like if you want to trade Tesla, it's a $700 stock, but you could play the options on it, and it depends on, I guess, the strike date or whatever, or I don't even know what all that is. But you can price it down to where you can actually play it. So if you want to play like these big moves down, I mean, here's an example of my strategy, but to the long side. You get the big flush down, and then you get the move back up. And I mean, even up here, big move down, and you get the move back up. So if you wanted to play this, but your small account can't afford it, you could play the options. However, that's kind of defeating the purpose of what I just talked about with risk management. Because if you have to use options to grow a little faster, that means you're risking way too much of your account to grow faster than you should. You don't want to outpace yourself. I mean, it's how you're going to blow up. And I always say, don't let one trade define your trading career. Don't let that one loss completely wipe you out. It just doesn't make sense. That's why you shouldn't be risking more than 5% of your account. And that's, to me, a max. And I'm always going to preach that because, again, risk management, consistency. Those are the two things. Worry about those two things first, and everything else will fall into place. Especially if you have time, just scaling at the correct pace, it'll do wonders. You'll never get that emotion. Like if you try to go from $50 to even just $100, you're literally doubling your share size. That's going to be in your head. Like that's going to mentally mess with you. What if the first trade you take, you end up getting into a red spot and you're like, holy crap, like that's a big number if you're looking at your P&L. Or like you see the share size that you have if you don't look at your P&L and you realize like, okay, I'm in some deep shit. It's going to get to you emotionally. But if you just gradually scale up, it should almost never affect you because each level is just a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. You're not going here and you're not trying to do, a 10-foot box jump. Where was I? Options or the poker question? I don't know what that was referring to. Do you think the Odyssey Neo G9 is too big to trade on? I don't even know what that is. Is that a plane? Odyssey Neo G9. Oh, it's a monitor. Is that a new Samsung monitor? How much is this thing? $2,500? That's pre-order? Yeah. How big is it? Is it 49 inch? Yeah, it's 49 inch. Don't they already have a 49 inch Samsung? Because I'm pretty sure that's the one I was looking at. Look at that thing. So pretty. Eventually, that's what I want to end up with is two 49 inch monitors. Just stack them. I feel like that would just be amazing for everything that I do. It would not be too big to trade on. It would be perfect. You should get it. Options are good for longer term holding. They are harder to buy and sell for short term stuff. If you don't know what you're doing with options, you will have a bad time. GDT does pretty good with them. He trades options a lot. You should do a video on your hotkeys. The big buttons are super helpful. I mean, I could. I've talked about these so many times. I'd rather you just ask me about them. I mean, I could do a video on them, but I have done a video on them. Stupid ads. Go away. For some reason, when I hit... Oh, there it goes. I had to hit the button twice that time. Excuse me. My channel. Search. Hot buttons. It's an older video, but I'm pretty sure it gets the same point across. I mean, unless you're talking about the hot buttons, like specifically that I use, then I mean that's different. I mean, I can just.
All right, guys, we're taking a look.
I can just give you the ones that I'm using if you really want them. Have you done a vid on your mental approach to trading? I have not. I was actually just talking to the wife about that today and about how I feel like I've come so far when it comes to my mental approach. Because I feel like just last year, the end of last year, I was thinking this might not work. Like my mental approach was, I didn't think it was going to work. And then now look at me. I'm trying to become full guru. But and people ask me a lot too, like, what was your turning point? Like, what switch did you flip? And I don't think it was anything in particular. I think my attitude going into the new year was very like standoffish. Like, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna like let this beat me. I'm not gonna get my mindset to a point where I can't recover. And one day I just kind of woke up and said, fuck this. And I went back to what I knew worked. And I think a combination of that, as well as just everything I learned over last year, where I was not profitable last year, was, the way I've been explaining it to people is like, imagine you're building a big machine that uses gears. So all last year I was just building these gears and just building them separately. And I was just, sitting them down on the floor, just waiting to put this big machine together. And at the beginning of this year, when I woke up and said, fuck it, I just said, let's put the machine together and see if it works. And so that's what I did. And so far it's working. I've tightened a few bolts here. I've loosened a few bolts here. I've done things since the machine's been running. I've been lubricating the gears as needed, whatever analogy you want to use with it. But that's kind of what I think happened. I was building this gear, and then I was building this gear, and then I tried building this gear, and then I tried building this gear, but none of those gears by themselves were the machine. They all had to be put together. And I'm basically telling you experience. Like, you need the experience. You need to do the wrong things to learn what not to do so that you can do the right things. And I think right now what I'm going through is just a combination of the last 2.5 years of me just doing the wrong thing. And now I know what not to do because it's happened so much. And I've tried so much to figure out how to not do the wrong thing, that I think as far as this strategy goes, I think I've tried everything within the strategy to know what works and what doesn't work. And that's kind of where I'm at. So that's really the best way I feel like I can describe it. I'd click for you on a stripper pole. Going all in. What were you talking about 20 minutes ago? I was just saying, don't go all in on one trade. I was talking about these gurus that talk about starting small account challenges with $500, and they're going all in on each trade to start off because they have to. It's like a rave now. So white. Side job for the wifey. Turn off the lights now. Getting a little epilepsy. I only do that to make GDT happy. He loves RGB. I am the opposite of RGB. Like, I only keep that light on, and sometimes it's RGB. Like, I'll have it fade in and out because my mom got it for me, and I do think it's really cool. But at the same time, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. I bet you I can make that actually look pretty cool. Like, if I turn the light off. Yeah, see, so the light will be good on me because I got the two lights up here. But then you can see that. That's pretty cool. I like that. It actually makes this look pretty cool too, the poster. I almost feel like it's a little too bright on my face now, but it'll be alright. I don't feel like adjusting it. Stripper pole. Maybe I will do the stripper pole thing, Maybe that's what I need to take my channel to the next level. The stripper pole. Bro, do the stripper pole and you'll go viral for sure. You guys. Would be bombalicious? We got Brian in here using the word bombalicious. How many drinks have you had tonight? After you've ignored me on Twitter, by the way. Yeah, Thomas got the to be honest joke. I'm glad somebody in here was from the Discord. I'll violently smash that like button for that thumbnail. Are you guys really going to make me get on a stripper pole? You be on a stripper pole, you might go viral. Do it and I'll donate 1,000. You're such a liar. That's like playing poker and just telling someone you blatantly have a hand, and then when they fold, you just turn over the exact opposite of a hand. You fold, I'll show. I have aces. Turn over 2-7. The only time someone is bummed not to be a girl, I'm not bummed not to be a girl, but I'm just saying there's a reason that channel took off the way that it did. I mean, I was following her when it was like 5,000 subscribers, and then before you know it, she was at like 200,000. And it was right after that video. If you need help with the option and that's your thing, hit me up on Discord. And I really don't want anything to do with options. I have no interest in them. And plus what I'm doing is working, so I'm going to stick with that. What are you talking about, Thomas? What was the... I'm finally catching up, so if you guys are talking in real time now, it'll be easier to understand. You said that's what I'm talking about in all caps with 3 exclamation points, so now I must know what that was for. Yeah, see, I understand calls and puts, but then when you start talking about straddles, iron, condors, and stuff, yeah, I don't know. Nope, 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 nope. Zishan, I do not plan to be a guru. I plan to be a guy that is unlike others. Like, I'm not gonna just open up a chat room and put up a paywall and sell a course. Like, if I do those things, it's going to be because I feel like I have something to actually offer. So, and I'm talking in the future. This is just me being transparent with you guys, as I always have been. I don't think I'm anywhere near that point yet. Yeah, I do have what I think is something that works, but at the same time, I am not anywhere. I'm talking probably a year, 2 years from now. And when that time does come, everyone will be able to come to my channel since I've started trading and see everything that it took to get to the point that I was at. I won't be just some random Twitter guy that has no proof of anything trying to sell a course. I won't be, your zip traders, those guys who have never shown a single trade and they're selling courses. I won't be another guy who has over 100K subs who got caught paper trading and still sells a course. Like that, I will not be that guru. Like, I'm not going to be a guru. To me, I want to take the approach of, and this is how my channel has always been. That's why I don't have 100,000 subscribers or, a huge following, is because I don't cater to those 90% of people. I don't cater to the people that are on Wall Street Bets. I don't cater to the people trading these meme stocks, and I don't cater to the people that are trading the low float, breakouts and stuff like that. I don't cater to them. I want to talk to the people that take this serious, that want to make a career out of this, that aren't trying to hit a home run every single trade. They're not trying to get rich quick, because this isn't that. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. This is something I want to be doing for the rest of my life. So taking the time to understand how it all works, to learn a system that actually works, learn how to trade the correct way, those are the people that I want to engage with. Those are the people that I want to come along. But at the same time, let's say I am making $1,000 a day. To go out of my way to help 100 people that see I'm making $1,000 a day, so they want me to teach them how to do it. It's no different than a pro athlete retiring, essentially. I mean, obviously you don't have to retire at this because you're not doing any physical damage to your body and have to retire, kind of thing. But if you wanted that person to teach you, they're not just going to do it for free. So I'm looking at it as more of a coaching thing versus a cash grab thing, if that makes sense. And I really hope that everyone feels that way as I do it. And I definitely don't want people to hate me for doing it, but I feel like it's going to get to that point where, I'm going to try to take everything to the next level. And also, I mean, who doesn't like passive income? There is nothing stopping any of you from doing what I'm doing. You can do it. You just have to do it. That's what it really comes down to. Something covered calls, I'm assuming I don't use those. No credit needed here? What are you talking about, Brian? It's okay, no credit needed here? You said lubricating. I did. Jag's probably on Discord right now, throwing gifts into the channel. Oh yeah, I guess I could try the rave lights while that's on. So. Make it a little faster too, or is that too fast? Let's go with the fade. I like the fade a little bit better. That's a little too fast. Let's go as slow as we can. I like it when it's nice and slow, you know? Becomes a little emotional. Did it stop that one? The frequencies on these are like intertwined. So like if I hit the one for the ones up here, it like stops that one. It's kind of weird. Get on the pole, dude. It's the best bet for the channel. See, that's the thing, is a lot of people don't understand. Oh, the dual 39s, Thomas? Okay. Yeah, that would be sweet. I don't necessarily care about the channel itself taking off. I'm not here to be a YouTuber. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, yeah, I'm doing the YouTube thing, but when I originally started this channel, I started it to document my journey without using up all my hard drive space. That was literally the reason I started the channel. And when I first started it, I was doing that privately. I wasn't even public with it. And then I saw some of the other channels doing it, and I was like, well, I'll just, go public and just keep doing the same thing and, kind of see what happens. And then it kind of led to ISW, and then it kind of led to CMEG, and then it kind of led to TraderSync. And it's just like, it started to benefit me to have the channel. So I started putting a little bit more effort into it. I mean, obviously not too much effort, but I did put some effort, and I still do put some effort into the channel. And, and the channel itself is monetized. So YouTube. So, and then I get people like DM and Thomas and Shin. They support the channel, which I 100% appreciate. And I do everything I can to put that back into the channel. I don't ever want someone to feel like they're, giving me money or the channel money, and I am not grateful for it, or not putting it back into the channel to make the channel better in any way that I can. And I do think eventually the sponsorship, like when you hit the join button on the channel, is going to be geared towards like those free lessons, and maybe like going into detail after hours, like doing like an hour after hour stream at night or something to talk about the trades from that day and kind of discuss. I really do think that's where that's going to head, because right now it's more of just a thank you for supporting the stream kind of thing. But I do have plans for that. We're not quite there yet. And I do think that's going to be a little bit down the line as well because of the kids and school. I think that's kind of an issue there, because I would like to make it like a scheduled thing, because I usually do come sit back down at my computer and I usually do go over my trades. I'll go, type in the journal and stuff like that. And so to be able to just do that with people so that I can try to help at the same time while I'm doing it, I feel like that could be beneficial, and I do think that'll definitely happen at some point. Oh, there's so many ads that keep stopping the music tonight. It's like, I don't like buying anything sub 30 days expiration. Oh, you guys are talking options. Get out of here. Gift guru. Yeah, Jag's definitely the gift guru. If I do want to, okay, yeah, options. The Swag Academy? Is the Swag Academy a real thing, or you're saying that's what I should call mine? Wait, isn't that the Zip dude? Doesn't he call it the Swag Academy? Maybe? I don't know. I haven't watched that dude in so long. Big Chango, what's up, man? Do you take any courses? I do not. I never took any courses. I mean, I've read through the ISW Learning Center. When you become a member of the team at ISW, you get access to the Team Learning Center. That's as close as I've come to taking a course. I have watched F ton of YouTube. And like I said, anybody that sells a course, if they had a YouTube channel or have a YouTube channel, you can usually just go deeper into their channel and kind of figure out it takes a lot more effort, but you can kind of see what's probably in their course just by watching a bunch of their YouTube videos, which is what I did. I spent 80 hours a week for probably the first year and a half of my trading, just watching YouTube videos, just learning and just absorbing everything that I possibly could. And a lot of people underestimate that people want to make this a career. It's probably the hardest thing to do for anyone. I mean, there's a reason why 90% of people fail at this. There's a reason why not everyone can figure this out. There's a reason why the ones that succeed are also the ones that end up being successful entrepreneurs. You know, they have chat rooms, they have courses, they have websites, whatever it is. It's because they want it. They want it more than anybody, and they made it happen. And you have to have that drive, or you're just, if you're just looking for this to be handed to you, you want to show up to the stock market and have someone just hand you money. Of course it's not going to happen. It might happen short term, but that's not how this is designed. The market's designed to take your money. It's not designed to just hand it over. You want to stick all your money in an index fund and let it go, then yeah, I'm sure you're definitely going to make money if you leave it in there long enough. But if you're looking to do day trading and whatnot, it's going to take a little bit more effort than just showing up, watching somebody's course. I mean, you can, even when I eventually have something to teach you exactly how I trade, you're still going to have to practice it. You're still going to have to live through the experience of doing it. You're still going to have to go through that. And then you're going to end up, once you start figuring that out, you're going to start modifying it to make it more you, right? That's the whole point. There's thousands of ways to trade. There's thousands of ways to trade the way that I trade, right? You can really break it down that way. You can take someone else's strategy as kind of a base. That's what I did with Brian, right? How I am trading is essentially how Brian trades, but my way. That's all it is. He gave me a base to work off of, and I made it mine. It took me a long time to do it. It took me a long time to find myself as a trader, but that's essentially what you need to do. You need to find the type of trader that you are, and you need to find a strategy that is profitable, and then you have to make it yours and make sure it's still profitable after you make it yours. Because I tried to make it mine all of last year, and I was not profitable. It was until I realized that I was taking it a bit too far, and I had to kind of let go of some of these restrictions that I was putting on my trading and myself to really excel. So it's all experience. It's screen time. You have to, and this is where risk management comes in. You have to stick around, because if you don't stick around and you let one or two trades define your entire trading career because you let them get away from you, you're not going to get that screen time because you're going to be gone because you ran out of money. So that's where the risk management comes into play. If you have good risk management and you can find consistency while you're keeping good risk management, and then those two start to come together, good things happen. You didn't give any credit to the people holding your hand and pushing you and changing your diapers along the way. You paragraph reading your change. Light switch. Ethan. What? Your F-it moment? What? I'm so confused. What was all that? Oh, no credit needed here. Okay. See, when I read that at first, I was thinking credit card. But no, Brian knows that he gets all the credit. Brian, if it was not for Brian, I would not be where I am today. And I mean, I just kind of said that. As far as like my strategy is his strategy, but I made it mine. But the countless times that I've talked to Brian for hours at night on Twitter, just, I mean, he knows how I feel about that. But if he really wants me to say it out loud for all of you to hear, there you go. I've done my part. Look at the money logo next to my name. Feel bad for not having it. Yeah. I saw you resubbed. It actually was during the stream. Was it this morning or yesterday morning? I don't remember. But I was like, I thought I had a new member, but then it just said you rejoined, and I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I didn't have to delete your name off the the scrolling list. Vincenzo was one of the first blue chips. Always a blue chip. I've prepaid my lifetime membership when you become a guru. Hey man, it'll only be $5,000 for a lifetime membership. It'll be easily affordable for you. Zip Trader is what you're thinking of, not Swag Academy. No, I know who Zip Trader is, but I know he sells a course. I just don't know what it's called. I didn't know where Vincenzo was going with the Swag Academy thing. So, yep, Jag screen time is key. Big Chango says thanks, no problem. Not just B1, but all the perspectives that helped you. It was a little over the top. Tim did it in a vacuum. That one went a little over the top of my head. Look how red I get when it's red. That's like way too red. I mean, I will say part of the FU moment was around when FP started making his videos. I'm actually curious when you started that channel. Let's go see when your first video was. So are you done with the videos? Was that I know you said that was the last one you were doing. You did a little after. No, it was January 16th. So I kind of had my FU moment, and that was also at the same time that Brian started FP. And that there is no question that FP and watching his videos like kind of took me to the next level. A lot of light bulbs were clicking just by watching him trade. Guys that sell a course without ever showing a single live trade blows my mind. Yeah, mine too. But I'm not getting into that. David always there when you needed it. All the guys in your Discord, all the guys in the team, etc. Yeah, no, I agree. Maybe when you go back and rewatch it, you will see what I mean. Rewatch what? Yeah. I mean, I only tried to tell you that FP, obviously I didn't know it was going to be FP at the time, but I like to take credit for anyone that found help from watching FP's videos. I take full credit. I even think B1 can say the same. There was a lot of those hour-plus conversations that we had on Twitter led to those videos. Your speech re how I fixed myself, the F it moment. Oh, you mean go back and rewatch my videos when it actually happened? Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I went back and started watching some of them just because I was curious. I was curious to see the change, like what I started doing versus what I was doing before. And I was also curious what I'm doing now that I wasn't doing then, which led me to the few changes that I made. I do remember one of the huge changes that I made was the 6x rule on my max loss, and that was because of this trade here. This trade was not a fun trade because it was right after I got the call from CMEG telling me all the BS that they wanted to tell me about the not accepting promo codes anymore. Which hopefully, they weren't lying, and come end of the year they'll be in Canada and the United States. That's their plan. And they said the Canada part where you can still avoid PDT will be able to do the promo code again. So we'll see how that works, because that was a pretty good chunk of change that I was making passively that they took away, and that's part of the reason I was able to grow my account to get off PDT rule myself, to go from CMEG to Interactive Brokers, as well as give myself the time to go at my pace. So I was very, very grateful and lucky that that came along the way that it did. But again, like I said, anyone can do what I'm doing. So yeah. Yeah, this Envis trade, this was in the afternoon. And you can see it was at 3:07 in the afternoon. I even started it. I started with 15 shares, guys. I started this thing with 15 shares, and I ended up losing $343. And this was before I had the 6x max loss. I think it was 10. I had it set to 10x at the time because I was trying to make $30 a day at this point, and I think 10x was my max loss, just assuming I would never get there. And I got slippage when I got knocked out. But I then started to realize, I went back after this loss, and if you look at this real quick, I went back and I looked, I was like, okay, on an average losing trade, how much am I losing compared to what I'm trying to make? And it was like it was anywhere from 0, like break even, to like 4x what I was trying to make in a day. So like right now it's $50. The most I was losing was $200 on any trade. So I said, well, if that's the most I'm losing on like a normal red trade that doesn't work, why am I risking 10x for a max loss? I was like, that's way too far away. And even now with the 6x, like I don't get anywhere near that on trades that usually go against me. I will get to like 3. Some I think it's very rare, like maybe once besides the max losses, I've got to 4. So it's like if I'm trading well, I usually stay within that 3 to 4x. But I keep telling myself I'm going to leave it at 6 just in case like it gets that extra push. I don't want to put myself in a spot where I can't add, and then I kind of get stuck in a sticky situation where I can't add, but I'm still in the position. But at the same time, I rarely get to that point anyway. So it always makes me wonder if I want to tinker with that a little bit. But what I'm doing is working, so that's why I haven't changed it. Ever since here, I changed it from 10x to 6x. So now when I had a max loss, you can see it's a much smaller line compared to what I'm making on a daily basis. So like this was a max loss, and this was a max loss, and look how much smaller it is than this one, which was just a little bit too big compared to what I was making daily. And as you can see, since we started to scale up, you can see the line's starting to go up a little bit quicker. It's just a little unfortunate that we can't, we're in kind of summer trading at the moment. So this out of sync chat so jacked up. What do you mean? It's not out of sync. I just wasn't caught up. I'm in sync now. Doesn't matter now. I think everyone who has joined you along the journey knows how much you love them and how grateful you are for their support and how willing you are to support them. Yeah, that's totally true. Trust me. If I talk to you on a daily basis or even like a semi-daily basis, I know who you are. Like it's not a big group. Like I said, I'm not catering to hundreds of people like some of these other channels are when they do these live streams and stuff. I mean, we like right now we have 8 people here, and you're all people that I talk to on a daily basis. So I will never forget you guys. And when it comes to that point, say 1 to 2 years from now, where if I do try to monetize a little bit, I will say with 100% guaranteed, none of you that I consider part of that level that we're talking about right now would ever have to pay anything. That is not who I am. I trust me. I'm not that guy and you should know that by now, but I am also, family first kind of guy, and I know where I came from. And and Brian knows this more than anybody, I want everyone around me to succeed. And even when I wasn't succeeding, I was doing my best to put out the content that I knew was truthful, mainly stuff that Brian taught me, to try to help others at the same time that I was trying to help myself. So the fact that something is now working for me, I want others to experience the same thing. And if you hang around me daily, you know this. I am a bit standoffish at times because I like to think that I know everything. But again, I said this earlier. If you're not that way, I almost feel like it's going to be harder for you to succeed because you have to want this so bad that you've put in the time, you've put in the effort to know all of these things. So when somebody brings something up, you can join the conversation because you already did your research on it. You already know what's going on with it. And that's just how I feel about a lot of things. And I know the guys in the Discord are probably being more truthful than joking around when they say I am a know-it-all, because I know that I'm that way, because I am like, I don't know everything. And I actually made a really good point to them in Discord. I don't know if it was this morning or the day or yesterday morning, I don't remember, but I will chime in a lot when I do know something and I feel like I know a good amount on the subject and my input could help somebody. I will preach it, essentially. And then I said, do you guys hear me talk about, like, if somebody brings something up and you don't hear me talking, it's because I don't know a lot about it. So I'm listening, right? I'm not just I'm not that guy that's going to act like I know something that I don't, because I won't. Ask Brian. I will ask him questions nonstop because I want to know the answer. But that's the drive in me. I want to know everything. I don't I don't necessarily want to come off as a know-it-all because I'm not trying to. I feel like when I come off that way, I'm really trying to help. I'm not necessarily trying to act like I'm better than somebody. And I guess I come off the way of I'm trying to act like I'm better than you a lot. And I can promise you, from, as corny as this is going to sound, from the bottom of my heart, that is not my intention. My intention is to help. And it's kind of funny because, my wife and everyone around me says I'm very outgoing and I'm like good at talking with people. So I don't, maybe it's just because I'm so passionate about this that maybe I come off that way when I talk about it, or, whatever it is at the time, but it is definitely not on purpose. My true intention is to be there for everybody and to help out in any way that I can. It's always been that way. It's never been to act like I'm better than you, because a lot of times I'm not. Like I'm not better than anybody, and I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I don't even remember where this famous quote came from. Maybe one of you can tell me. I think it was just like a meme on Reddit at some point, or not a meme, but like one of those motivational quotes. But it's about like jealousy and looking at your neighbor and seeing what they have. And it's like it's a little kid, and I think they're saying, my neighbor has this, my neighbor has that, I'm jealous, I want it, kind of thing. And there's a dad that looks down at the daughter and says, the only reason you should never look at your neighbor for what they have. I'm gonna screw this up. I don't want to screw it up because it's a really good one. Oh, I think I just saw it. Yeah, here it is. I knew it was something to do with the bowl. So I'm going to assume it's this guy because Louis C.K. Yeah, that's him. The only time you should look in your neighbor's bowl is to make sure that they have enough. You don't look in your neighbor's bowl to see if you have as much as them. And this is the guy talking to the girl. That's the one that I saw. And it's so true. Like, this is how I feel about it. Like, I am not looking in your bowl to see how much you have. I'm looking in your bowl to see if you need something, essentially. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. So when do you foresee adding paralongs, YOLO long, on float rotations, etc.? I think when we get to house money. I know your next question is going to be what's house money for you. I'm just going to tell you 100,000. is going to be house money. My goal is to get 100,000 in the account, and I'm not adding any more to the account. I would hope I don't have to, just with based off of my risk management. But getting up to $200 a day. I mean, there's 250. Is it 252 trading days? I mean, if I could average 252 trading days times 200, there's 50 grand. So what would that take? A little over a year. What's 60? What do I need? 69,000 divided by 200. So if I was only at 200, it would take me 345 days. So basically a year to get to that 100K. And then my goal is anything over 100K at the end of each month is when I will start paying myself with this account. And that's kind of where I'll stand with that. And I don't plan to stop scaling wherever, like I don't plan to get to 1,000 and stop scaling. I plan to try to keep scaling, but I think 1,000 will be my end goal for that time being, until maybe I get to some, crazy number, and, we'll go from there. But I mean, $1,000 a day is $252,000 a year, and I would be very happy with that. But again, I'm not going to plan on stopping there. But at the same time, to go further, I would want to be on even more house money. And until I get to that point, I'm talking house paid off, just money in the bank, as in, money invested. Just, you kind of get the drift. That's kind of where I'm going. But the first goal is $100,000. The first goal is to keep scaling. And eventually throughout that scaling, we should get to $100,000. And then once I get to $100,000, as we're still scaling, anything over that, I plan to take out. But I think when I get to that point, I'll feel that house money vibe, if that makes sense. And when we get to that point, I think that's when I'll start to like really look to start adding some other things into trading. Kind of trade more like, not more like B does, but look for more opportunities. Yeah, the yellow longs on float rotations. Yeah, that is true. That's not envy. That's envy, not jealousy. I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's like iceberg that B always posts. Yeah, success, and then underneath it just says don't lose. That is a good one. Coveting your neighbor's wife and goods. That was the Bible. Neighbors, I must have your beard. I mean, it is a nice beard. It's starting to get a little long. Every part of me wants to trim it, like kind of shape it, because it's starting to get a little too long for me. Walton, what's up, man? Good evening. Make sure you keep some for taxes. Yeah, we pay the taxes quarterly. So based off of like our accountant kind of like, he'll see how much I made the previous year, and he'll give us the slips to pay him quarterly. Will you buy a Gucci bag? I will never buy a Gucci bag. I am not a Gucci person. These are $4.88 Walmart shirts, and they are the most comfortable shirts that I can find. I bought a 3-pack of those True Classic t-shirts. I bought in, I think I mentioned this last week. I bought into the Facebook ad that I saw. I don't know, I was on there, and I kept seeing them, and it was they were trying to gear it towards fat people, essentially saying it will accent the top part of your body, and then it gets loose down towards the stomach. Well, I bought the size it told me to get. I put it on. It was fairly tight around the top, but it was also really tight down there. Like it was like my tire or fat ass belly, that whatever you want to call it, that I have right now, was not. It was not a loose shirt. Is all I'm gonna say. It was not what they were advertising. But these shirts, they fit, like they're a little loose up, like they're not super loose up top, like they don't, like hug your arms, like, if you want to show off the biceps or whatever, like they're not tight to that. Like you can see there's like a little looseness, and there's like a little looseness in the chest, but they're so comfortable, and they're loose down there as well. I don't know. I love these shirts. I'm so simple, man. I'd rather spend my money on PC parts than a Gucci bag. Man burst him. will, will you buy another Gucci bag? If I ever buy a Gucci bag, it will not be for me. I'll put it that way. Quarterly would have saved you from some bad surprises for sure. Yeah, man. Seriously, at the end of the year, talk to your accountant. Or if you're your own accountant, you can go fill out a form, I think, and it'll allow you to pay quarterly. So like every time, like right now, like I'm still getting paid by CMEG for the people that are still under me for now. So when that gets into the account, that's what we're taking the money from for our taxes. So like she'll take money and the rest of it will just go into our checking account, and she uses it for like paying for the kids' school or whatever it is, and then whatever's left over she'll put away. But that's how we're doing it. So like I said, I'm very fortunate that what I'm doing here with the account itself can take its time, essentially, because of CMEG, because of ISW, because of TraderSync, because of the wife having a good job, because we saved up properly to be in the position that we are, because both cars are paid off, because we have a rental property now. Our old house is now a rental property that is profiting almost $1,200 every month. Like, it's not easy. Like, you have to be smart. You can't just be a stoner college kid with an extra $1,000 laying around and expect Gucci. It's just not going to happen. I mean, you'll have your lottery winner every once in a while. Your Tim Grittani's, you'll have one out of probably 10 million people that try to do this, that it does work. And those are the scams that I like to call, because they're going to try to teach you how they did it, and how they did it was just complete luck. Like, it's going to have, someone wins the lottery every once in a while, right? What are the odds of winning the lottery? It's some stupid, outrageous number. I think they say you have better luck to get struck by lightning twice than you do to win the lottery. So it's just one of those things. Like, it's going to happen. So it's like you see those stories, and then that inspires all these people to think that they can do it. But what they don't realize is they were the one that won the lottery. That's like saying, hey, I won the lottery. Here's what I did. I went to the store, I bought a ticket, and I won. So that's what these people are doing. They're like, okay, well, I'll just go to the stock market. I'll just throw my money in there, and I'll just do this, and I'm going to be a millionaire, in a year or two. It's just not how it works. It's not. And, that's part of the problem. And that's why I don't want a channel catered to those people. I've said it a million times on my channel. I do not want those people here. And the only reason I always say, like, when people come in and they're brand new, and this is part of the monetization part of it, I want to have a video where I don't have to, say, hey, go on YouTube and learn the basics first. Like, I want to have that option, for a cheap price. I don't want to be like, other places, $5,000 and I'll teach you how to trade. I want to be like, hey, $20, $50 and I'll teach you the basics. And have, the videos about support and resistance, reading level 2, reading time and sales, like those kinds of things. But at the same time, I'm also not some person that's, hey, I started with $500, I turned it into blah, 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 blah. Like, you can see my story. It's literally on YouTube. So I feel like that's where that's going to help me in the future, because show me another YouTube channel that does what I do. I say that in my intro video on my YouTube channel. Show me another another channel that is as transparent as I am and shows you literally everything and will tell you anything, and I want to go watch them and support them because that's what we need, more of that. But unfortunately, we're in, a dog eat dog industry, and it's just not how it works. People are always going to cash grab. People are always going to do what they have to do to make money. And I think going at it the way that I'm going at it is going to be a very long-term sustainable way of doing it. And, trust goes a long way. And I don't think I'll ever have a problem earning people's trust because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is out there. The proof is there for you to see. And I think that will definitely be something that helps in the long run. What was I saying before that? I forget what I was saying before that. It's getting late. Do I got a flat tire for a guy? Oh, it's kind of a tire. I mean, I'm not gonna stand up and show you my flab. I'm 230. I'm 231 pounds, and I'm 5'9". So you can visualize it. Let me. I'll show you my Renpo. See it. Let's see if it focuses. That's what I was this morning. I don't know if you can. Let's see. Where's the minus weight? Oh, focusing. So I'm down 15 pounds since I started. We're getting there. I think once I get into the 220s, I'm already doing really well as far as like the mental aspect of it, staying disciplined. It's been very consistent. Like, let me. I can sit here and show you my graph trading. Let me show you my my graph. Where are you at, graph? There it is. So here's my graph for my weight loss. I'm pretty consistent to the downside, right? A couple of max losses to the upside there. Probably just days where I ate a little too many carbs and held too much water for the next morning when I weighed in. But I've become pretty disciplined, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going, and we're off to a good start. I was just going to say, once we get into the 220s, I feel like there's going to be like another mental aspect to it where I'm going to be like, all right, this is working. And then when I get down to 200, I know I'll feel a lot better as well. That was always kind of a hard spot for me at 200 because I used to be fat at 200, and now knowing I got all the way up to basically 250. I think I started, it was like 247.6 or something. I was just disgusted. It was just, I remember looking in the mirror when I got on the scale that day, and I was just like, what am I doing? It's a good way to if you're 6'2". Yeah. Man purse on a chair with a stripper pole thumbnail. Anyone? I will never own a man purse. My man purse is my wallet. I've had the same wallet for who knows how long. Fuel tank for the machine. It takes a lot of fuel. That's what balls are for. Just keep putting balls in my mouth. Yeah, I knew what you meant. DM. A man bun with my accessories? Oh, that would be interesting. Galls, Pog. What is this, a Twitch stream? It's not TIM? What are you talking about? Pudding is sus these days. Weeble? What are we talking about here? Did I miss something? Cash grab trading? That's not a bad, can you imagine somebody just making it so blatantly obvious? Like one of these 18-year-olds that you see on Twitter just saying they found the Holy Grail and they're selling it on Twitter, and it's called cash grab trading. Rag snoring is making me laugh. Yeah, people always talk to me about his snoring. I can never hear it because of my headphones. Yeah, and you can probably only hear him snoring when I'm talking too, because I have the mic set to where you can't hear him if I'm being quiet. Just do Nutrisystem? No, I'm good. It's all about just eating better. I do have some of those like lean cuisines and stuff like that, but it's more just for filler meals, like where I might have an urge during lunch or something, and I'll just be like, no, 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 just eat one of these to get to stay out of the pantry, et cetera, et cetera. So I made a deconstructed sushi bowl. I think it was Thursday. Was it Thursday? Was it yesterday? No, I think it was Wednesday. That was good. I've been craving sushi. I still am. But that definitely, those are always good. I literally make the rice. I make sushi rice, so I like get the rice vinegar, sugar, salt, make the call it the juice for the rice, cook the rice, mix it, and then I just throw in like crab meat, avocado, cucumber, and then I pour some soy sauce on top. And it's literally, it tastes like sushi, but it's just deconstructed without any nori. Hey mom, ask him for his address so that we can come visit. Maybe he'll give it to you. Yeah, mom's not living the dream. She just has dreams. Are you going to make an algorithm? No. You can't. I get those people, I get some of the funniest emails from a lot of these places that want to um, work with me, partnership with me. And there's a lot of them that are like people that make algorithms. And I wonder how many people actually try to do that stuff because their pitch is, give them your trading strategy and they'll make it an algorithm. And there is so much that goes into the trades that I didn't even realize that it would be nearly impossible to make it an algorithm. Like when a trade, like let's just use GCI as an example real quick. Why is it not anchored? Come on. Okay. So when this came up and you enter, like sure, it could put an order out. Like you could have an algorithm to automatically put an order out at 50%, but I mean you can do that with a hot button. Um, the thing is, this could come down and kind of find support right above that order, and you can, as you're looking at the stock, and like if you can read price action, and you can feel it forming that support and is trying to get bought back up, like you would know to get out of the trade. An algorithm's not going to know how to do that. Also, an algorithm isn't going to be able to determine that example I gave earlier. Like say this ran to 7 and you want to scale out because you know it has a lot more possibly to the downside. So you try to scale out. An algorithm's not going to do that. It's just going to do what you tell it to do. So I don't know. I don't understand. So I mean, I guess if you're looking to enter a trade when the 9 crosses the 20 and that's when you trade and the only time you trade, I mean, you could do it for something like that. But I feel like if you're trading something like this, it's not something you can automate. I'm here for the clout dreams, not the wet dreams. Why not? Too old for that? See, you can't say that because when you get too old, you start having the wet dreams again. About naught? What happened with naught? Was this? Oh, was this yesterday? Did I trade this? I feel like I traded that just later. Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, it was the one I went like uh really small size. Yeah, like I mean, how would you automate scaling into a position as well, especially with halts? Like how would you even do that? I don't even think that would be possible. I actually missed I didn't trade anything. I think what was my first entry? This is actually really cool too. I mean, obviously they show the chart and everything. I remember saying when I was getting out of the trade, and my last exit was somewhere like right there. I remember saying, because my average was 1097, somewhere like there. I was like, I have so much room. It went through VWAP. I was like, I should see what it does when it tries to bounce and try to hold on to this, because it was just one of those times where it was just, I mean, a huge pump, and you just felt like it could probably give it all back. And I didn't give it a chance, and it would have been nice, because I mean, look at that, it just never bounced. Literally, just never bounced. So I was a little sad that I didn't hold on to that piece, but you forget where I work? What are you talking about? Like playing with your mouse. Is Tim gonna come help me with my? Yeah, you sent me a picture of that gopher. It made me laugh. My cat loves to catch mice. He's brought a few to me. No, Caddyshack. He's talking about a computer mouse, Mom. Come on. Guys having a conversation in the Discord. Oh God, here we go. Different kind of way. Okay, so you guys are having an adult conversation now. Got it. Yeah, I mean, Caddyshack is something that I've only watched because of my parents. So I'm only assuming that the the newer, the modern millennials absolutely have no idea what Caddyshack is. To defeat this gopher, I think I need to think like one, and if possible, look like one. Oh, Vincenzo. Um, that was the other thing I was gonna say. This big old picture on my wall behind me. I now have two of them, and I am not quite sure what I want to do with this one when I take the other one out and assume that it's good. And I've been thinking about getting or not getting, but giving it away. I just don't know how or what. Brian, really? That was your response on Twitter? Such a jerk. Just trying to, be all emotional with you, and you just respond to my picture. Tisk tisk. Brian must be avoiding the family tonight. He's still here. If GDT was here, I would have tried to get a little poker game going, but oh my, with the picture. No, Mom, they keep telling me my picture's crooked. And when Dad was here, I even gave him the level so that he could see if it was crooked, and it was not. So, all right. What is this? Welton with the super chat. What does that say? I don't trade stocks anymore, but you're just a cool dude that deserves support. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Welton. I do like to think I'm a cool dude, right? Right, guys? Mr. Everyone that calls me a know-it-all. You guys think I'm cool? No shots tonight. Mom, I don't need help hanging the picture. All I gotta do is take that one down and put the new one up. My 4-inch look. Come on. It's my camera's not crooked either. I don't know why it looks that way. I literally put a level on the camera, and the camera itself is level as well. So I don't know why 4 inches it's not 4 inches. It's like it's probably 8, It's either an 8 to 10 inch level. And when you put it right in the middle, it's fine. Here we go with the to be honest thing. To be honest, you guys are jerks. Except for Welton. He's awesome. Is the desk level? You know, that I don't know. But does it matter if the desk is level, if the camera's level? Wouldn't the camera not be level? Or isn't that what matters? Is that the camera's level? I don't know. Like, which way would I even have to turn? So it has to turn that way. But the camera itself is level. So I don't know. Like, it would have to be right there. It's it's so weird because now I want to, because I feel like when I'm looking at the monitor, I already tilted it that way a little bit to try to make it level. But you can see the monitor's tilted a little bit now. So I don't think the monitor itself is level, but it's the wrong way. I would have to go more that way to make the picture look level. But the picture itself is level on the wall. It's my head. No, I mean, I can see what you see. I just don't know how to fix it because the picture is level. It's what's making you dizzy? It's an optical illusion. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. That's a speedo, and they are 6 inches. Is it really? Hold on, let me pull my pants down. This is not 6 inches. This is easily. This is easily 8. Probably 8. I mean, I mean, here's my arm. I mean, it's like the whole size of my arm, my forearm. Well, here, now that I have it, let's see. I mean, I wish I could take a picture and show you. I mean, that's as level as it's gonna get. Here, I can just give you the back view. I mean, how much more level can that get? I mean, you can literally see the bubble. You can see a gap in between both black lines. You can't get it any more level. I don't really know what to tell you guys. I can't tilt the camera. The it doesn't work that way. It only sits flat. You would have to tilt the monitor. To hang the picture to true level of the camera. Put a ball on top of your head to prove it's level? What? You keep telling the wife that that's 6 inches. I could put the level on my head. I don't know if it would do anything. I'm actually that kid that would balance textbooks on his head and walk from one class to the next. Pretty good at balancing on my head. It's like a magnetic north and true north are not the same north. Huh? Is that like a compass question? Does the level look level at the moment? Does my head look even the level looks slanted? Maybe the picture's making the level look slanted. It's probably the metal plate because it does have the magnet on the bottom. uh you guys. Why is it that people come in later at night? I remember when I used to get more people watching when I would start these things at like 10:30. But then I felt like I was just getting old and that's just too late. Like I didn't want to stay up that late. Cuz I'd start them at like 10:30, and they would go until like 12:30 to 2 o'clock sometimes. And it was like, what are we doing? Apparently, you guys are just making fun of me at this point. I feel like the trading aspect of this live stream has disappeared. I think the next thing I'm gonna do, I mean, well, when I get off of here, I'm going to turn the computer off, and I gotta put all this RAM in there so I can run this test overnight. Anybody have any good weekends? Crooked or crooked? Tim's chat? Crooked Tim's chat? We tried to stay on topic. There you go. Don't forget the lube. Yeah. You mean ram it in there? Oh my god, you guys. It's getting a little late for everybody, I see. Oh, 4 inches of it. Yeah, 4 inches. Is that 4 inches? That's a. I wish it had a rule. I thought the really nice level I have is like it's longer than the picture. It's like probably a 2 foot. Yeah, I think it's 2 feet. Might even be longer than that. I think it is because I think it comes up to like my chest, which is probably what, like 3 feet. But that also has a ruler on it and everything. I wish this one had a ruler on it because then I could just tell you. If I had to guess, this is. I mean, that's probably 6 right there. And there's still. Yeah, I bet this is 8 inches. I mean, I could just go get the ruler and check, but I don't feel like it. The house is slanted. Yes. Yes. That's the reason. I knew it. Mom figured it out. Can I do a quick tour of the house? No, I can't actually, because I can't bring the camera with me. I plan to do one of those videos for the channel at some point. It's probably going to be part of my setup, like when I do my setup. I'll probably like show my setup and then do a tour of the house kind of video. I don't have a nice camera, so I'll probably just end up using my phone camera, or I'll probably end up using my wife's phone camera, to be honest, because she has the new iPhone. I'm still on a Google Pixel XL or Google Pixel 2 XL, which is like almost 3 years old at this point. 2 drinks later, it's 2 inches. We need to be able to post memes in here. That would be nice, but YouTube is a little restrictive. Yeah, 2 inches just means I'm cold, especially when when you lose it, it becomes a ninny. You'll need the Lambo for that video. Can I rent yours, Shin? I know you got one. Day in the life of a day trader. I do that every day, every morning. You use today. If you go watch my stream from today, that's what my life is every day. Until like 12 o'clock. I did go bowling, and then I did do my video. I do think that would be a cool video, and I could buy a decent camera, but I just have no use for it. Like I have no use for it other than to make a video every once in a while. I wonder if you could like rent a camera. I could just find a friend that has a camera, I guess. But I don't have any friends. All my friend, like my actual friends, like from school and stuff, they all don't live here anymore. Sad piece. Stay out of my bedroom. No pictures. Yeah, mom, let me come hang your pictures. Guaranteed to be level. All right, I think I've had enough of this. Let's just turn them white. Uh, it's a very soft white. I like it. See, now this is gone. It's getting late. I'm starting to get hungry, which means I'm tired. My body's saying either go to sleep or eat. I really definitely don't want to eat. You know, Thomas, I bought that tape because I thought it was a problem. Like I thought I was looking at my P&L, but I really wasn't that much. But to answer your question, it's still sitting there in the wrapper. Eat some carrots? I don't want to eat anything. I'm not supposed to. I'm intermittent fasting, so after 8 o'clock, I'm not supposed to eat anything. Really, not even supposed to be drinking that. It should just be water, but I couldn't help myself. It was Friday night. Figured I'd splurge a little bit with the zero, the Balls Guarana zero, 0 calories. You know, lots of fake sugar. Can't turn down one of those. Get in my belly. Guaranteed level? Yeah. Yeah. Is the stream that far behind now? Let's see how far behind it is. Stream that far behind now? Oh no. Well, at least on the preview for me, it's like right away. Yeah. This definitely is a break of the fast. It's not water, but I mean the first ingredient is carbonated water, right? So that means it's mostly water. Sucralose. That's the one right there. I can only imagine how much of it's in this. It kept me up though. I was pretty tired before the stream, but definitely gave me a nice little energy boost. I never pass on balls in my mouth. You know, I tried so hard. Like I tried more than probably any other, reaching out type thing for the channel. But I reached out to Balls on several occasions, and they're not even like a huge company. They're not like Monster or Red Bull or anything like that. And I straight up told them, I was like, look, I go live every single day. People watch, kind of thing. I mean, I never even got a response from them. Like they just straight up just ghosted me. And the idea was like if you watch these guys on Twitch, they have like the little mini fridges with full of whatever energy drink they're getting sponsored by, and all I was basically trying to do was get a mini fridge that I would have bought, and then just free product. That's all I wanted, so that I could just have these whenever I wanted. I mean, it never even got to that point of discussion. They never even responded to my emails. And I was like, well, all right, I guess that's one that I'm not going to work with. And to be honest, there is one that I have my eye on, but they literally say in their affiliation application that you have to be fit and fitness has to be part of your life, kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, yeah, I'm not quite ready to apply there yet. So, yeah. Dude, I love balls. These things. I mean, ask my mother. Me and my brother have been drinking these for a very, very long time. Very long time. No jag, they're not salty. Chocolate balls, I do dig some chocolate balls as well. I've got some Jewish apple cake down here, Mom. Shh. Cake and Miss Laura, are you trying to seduce me? Balls are big, haha. Big balls. I've got. Who's got big balls? I've got big balls. The biggest balls of them all. Yeah, I don't know if maybe they just like went and looked at my channel and they got tired of the repeated jokes of me going like, this stream could be sponsored by balls in my mouth. Like I would just randomly make those kinds of comments over and over again. But how do you name an energy drink that you drink balls without knowing that that's going to be a joke? Like, you know damn right well when they named their company balls, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. Size isn't everything, Laura. People with small, are the ones that say that, Vincenzo. They used to, yeah, well, yeah, they did if they still do. Like, if you say you're having a LAN, they will send them to you as long as you like take pictures and post it and stuff like that. But back then they didn't care. They would just send them to you for having a LAN. It was awesome. But they don't, I mean, they still do that, but you have to like, it has to be something they think they can get some cash money back from it. New theme music? What is the theme music? He must have the same level. Vincenzo must have the same level. You guys crack me up. Not gonna lie. I am like cracking up. I'm just, trying to still be a little bit quiet because the kids are sleeping. I didn't really realize that until after we moved in, but my youngest is right above me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because he sleeps heavy. But the one that's on the other side of the house, he does not. But I probably don't need to be as quiet as I do during these, but I do just in case. Because, I mean, he's literally right there. But there's no vent there that goes up, so I doubt it's probably that loud. I'd have to, like, test it. I haven't tested it. Balls missed an opportunity? How so? Whisper like Devin. Devin whispering was creepy. That was so creepy. I have no idea which day it was that Devin was whispering on stream. But if you want to go look for it, it was on stream at, I forget. I want to say it was like Monday, or it might even have been last week. I don't remember. That was so creepy. So creepy. Does anybody have any questions? Like real questions? Or questions about anything? I think we're to that point. Doesn't have to be about trading. Can literally be about whatever. Because I think we're going to do a little 10-minute countdown. Well, 9-minute and 20-second countdown. We're going to call it 11:45. It's going to be the end. Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah, I mean, they knew what they were doing. Unless the dude that started it, his name was Dick's. I mean, then I guess it just makes sense. I mean, it sounds a lot better than Richard's Sporting Goods. Last Monday and Tuesday? Jeez, it was that long ago? Ugh. Oh, I would have been a great promoter. And that's the thing is, all these guys that they, end up working with are people that are like already big. And yeah, sure, the guys are going to take the money or whatever they get for doing it. And it makes sense. But I feel like some of your most loyal people are the ones that, you start when they're a little bit smaller, right? And if they grow into something, uh, you know, it works out kind of thing. And if it doesn't, kind of cut them loose, right? But I feel like now, like if I got bigger and, Paul's just like, hey, what you doing? You wanna? I'd be like, you didn't even respond to my email when I sent it to you the first time around. It reminds me of the Steph Curry thing with Nike. I don't know if any of you know that story, but the guy that was pitching like the new endorsements and the new shoes and like all the new stuff for Nike, the rep they sent to tell all this stuff to Steph Curry, um to basically like renew his contract or whatever. I forget what it was for. I don't know if it was a new contract, like they were trying to get Nike. Nike was trying to get them to be on Nike's team, or if they were just like trying to renew a contract. I don't remember what it was exactly, but the rep took the slideshow from the last NBA star that he went to, which I don't remember who it was, and didn't change the names on the slides from the last guy. And on top of that, didn't know how to pronounce Steph's name. He literally was, I forget what they said he was calling him. Like, I don't even remember. Were they calling him Stefan? I don't remember what they were calling him. They were calling him the wrong name. And then they were going through the slideshow, and it was another basketball player's name. And he said, screw you, Nike. You can't even take the time to make me my own slideshow, and you send a rep that knows how to pronounce my name. And he went to Under Armour, and he ended up being like the best player in the league for how many years? So it just reminds me of those kind of things where it's like, if these guys, they're just marking it up as advertising, but they can't even like prepare to send out for like one of the top guys in the game, and do their prep work and stuff like that. Stuff like that just baffles my mind. Later, Brian. Love you too. I'll message you on Twitter at some point, I'm sure, about something. Oh, look. David decided to show up as Brian left. Are they the same person? Is this your third alternate identity, Brian? When we get out of your way, we will have to meet up. You mean get out? Oh, get out your way. Like out that way. Gotcha. Notice that's when he disappeared, Mom. Good job. You scared him off. Love you long time. Me so horny. I love that movie. Night FOMO? What's night FOMO? Good night, Mother. Hi, David. How are you, David? Do you have any questions, David? You have 5 minutes, David. How come you're not a member of my channel, David? It's rude of you, David. Same with you, Vincenzo. You guys just use me. Jag too? Wow. I see. You just wait, Jag, till we meet. I'm not giving you any meatballs now. I was planning on making you meatballs. I ain't doing it. Dave. Because I know you don't like being called Dave. If you go back to somewhere in the beginning of this live stream, I gave everyone the guru speech about the future, as well as my strategy in a nutshell when I was talking about GCI. If you want to learn how to trade, there it is. It's earlier in the stream. Addedly, what's up, dude? P&L curve? I love meatballs. I know you do. And since you don't support my channel, you're not getting any. I never did talk about not like Brian wanted. Oops. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to see if I could share with you guys. I need to go through this and see what I would want to share. Return, I don't care. Cost, I don't care. Chart, of course. Setups, it's fine, but I don't have any in there. Risk. I mean, I don't have that in there either. Size, return percentage, mistakes, notes, average buy, average sell. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Here, I want to send this to you guys. This is something I've been thinking about putting on my Twitter. Just like when I take trades, I could just post them on Twitter. Like I could just share my trades that way. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. So that you could literally click on this link. Let's see what it does when I click on it. And I don't know if it'll make you make a profile or not. I don't know. But it should come up like this. It should show you the trade itself, which is pretty cool. But anyways, P&L curve for addedly. There you go. That was my one trade today, right? Did I put my trade in from today? Yes, GCI. All right. P&L curve for addedly. There you go. Teaching people won't hurt with entries? Why would it hurt with entries? Trading will always come first. Vincenzo. It does want you to log in, Jag? Gotcha. Well, that sounds like an opportunity to sell more TraderSync memberships. I am not at all-time highs. I am very close though. Here, let me let me just show you on the overview. It'll be easier because then I don't have to mess with those dates because I can just X this filter out. So this is my year. This is basically what you just looked at. It's just in bar chart. I mean, if you want to see it in the line chart, same thing. It's just more leveled out. And then if I get rid of this filter, you will see my entire trading journey all in one bar chart. And then I will show you where the all-time highs are. So the all-time highs was this candle, 1448.36. And I am currently at 1349.21. I am within $100. So I would expect that I will be there very soon. Volume and liquidity? I'm confused at what you're asking, Vincenzo. Why would it hurt with my entries? Because I'm always going to trade first, and then like if what you're getting at is saying that people are going to be following, then that's on them. They shouldn't be following. But if you think that like if I teach enough people what I'm doing that they might start trying to front run me kind of thing, then I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible because I do, because there's times where a trade, like I'll say I'm looking for the breakthrough the whole dollar, like say $7, and I'll say I'm looking for that 720 area. 720 will come and go, like there, you know, in the example earlier with GCI, how ask is getting hit. Well, if I never see a break at 720 to come back down, I'm not going to get in. I'm going to let it keep going until I see that first sign of a jiggle. And it might be at $8. So if people want to front run me at that point, then that's up to them. And just FYI, if you're looking at this, February 8th is when I started up with ISW. So right here. So I started with ISW, and I mean, my journey with ISW has always been positive. Especially, I mean, look, when I first started, I was down in a hole, and this was OCX, the big loss for me. And ISW, it was like from the get, it was just like I thought I had it figured out. Started scaling up, and I got humbled really quickly. MTSI. I didn't know how to lose, and I had no max loss at this point. I actually ended up taking the whole month of June off here. You can see the whole month of June I skipped. I paper traded for a month, and I came back. I added some money because at this point, after OCX, commissions, fees throughout all of this, I started with $5,000 over here. But even though after OCX or even after MTSI, I was only down $693 overall from my trades, with fees and commissions and um, platform fees and stuff like that, I only had, I think, like $900 in my account. So it just goes to show you, how much the fees, commissions, and stuff like that, it does add up. I ended up adding to my account here. I took it back to $5,000, and I went on a run again. And I kind of hit a dead spot here, but then we started to go, and then I scaled up. I want to say it was like 2 days before this, and I was getting cocky. I was like, oh, man, I can't freaking lose. And then LYV hit, and it was like, I mean, where was this? Let's see, December. It was like right at the end of 2019, and where were we at? Right here. So it was 3 months, well, 4 months technically, because it was September, October, November, and then December. So yeah, 4 months of gains just gone in one trade. And over here, MTSI, let's see, it's like from here. So March to, so this was 2 months. 2 months of gains gone in one trade. 4 months of gains gone in one trade. It was at that point I realized I didn't know how to lose, right? The system of when it was winning was great, right? But I didn't know how to lose. When I lost big, like way too big. And then that's where this whole year, you can see 1231 to basically the beginning of this year. So from the end of 2019 to the end of 2020, this was me being Tinker Tim and trying to figure out what to do. And as you can see, it was not working. Every time, I mean, you can see it was like I thought I figured something out, and then I would lose. And then I would try something else. I thought I figured it out, I would lose. I would try something else, thought I figured it out, nope, lose. Thought I figured it out, nope, lose. Thought I figured it out, even got a little back into the green here, lose. And then I was probably just trying, I don't know if I kept trying whatever that was, which I don't even know what this was. I want to say it was like the single entry thing, because I wasn't losing a lot when I lost, but I was pretty good at top ticking, so I think it worked for a little while. But then I realized that it wasn't actually working. And I mean, clearly it wasn't like doing great. But then thought I figured something out, and then bigger loss. Thought I figured something out. Like, you can see how it goes up a little bit, then down, up a little bit, then down. And I just literally kept changing something like every week. I mean, you can see it here. Like, look, thought I figured it out, lost. Thought I figured it out, lost. And it was just over and over again. It was just, I just kept tinkering and tinkering and tinkering. And like I said earlier in the stream, at the beginning of the year, I basically just said, fuck it. I was just done doing what I was doing. And I basically, what I did is I took all of this experience, first off, right? While I was doing all this, sure, it wasn't working, but I was also figuring out a lot of what doesn't work. So if none of this works, I knew not to do it anymore, right? And I would never have it in my head again to even try those things, because I did, and they didn't work. So what did I do here? I basically went back to what I was doing here without doing any of this, but also, credit to David, if he's still here, adding a max loss. And that was the big break, I think, for me, was just adding a max loss, right? Do what I'm doing over here, but if a trade's not working, have a cutoff. Have a cutoff, right? And that's what I did. And as you can see, when I lost, look how little it looks in comparison. Up, 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 huge down. Up, 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 huge down. Up, 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 up. A little bump in the road. Up, 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 up. Just another bump in the road. Up, 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 up. Not even, I mean, this was probably just like a middle of the road loss. Up, 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 up. Just a little speed bump. And then we've been up since then. And those were max losses. Well, I don't think this one was, but these two were. And this one definitely wasn't. So this is what a max loss looks like now. This is what a max loss looks like now. These are what max losses, which weren't really max losses. I didn't have a max loss. These are what they look like back then. Big difference. Huge difference. But before this, before February 8th, I mean, I was still learning. I at the very beginning, this was my first day of trading when I lost all this. I was trying to trade like Ross. I think, obviously everybody does that. And obviously it didn't work out. I started to learn about support and resistance. That started to work. I scaled up way too big. This was all basically one trade where I got lucky with a pre-market mover, went in way too big size, and it worked. And that was basically all that one big up. And then I just, was basically trading support resistance to the long side in a bull market when this happened. And as you can see, it was working. And then I think this was actually when I was like, you know what? I'm tired of paying all these fees on SureTrader when it was $4.95 a trade, that I tried swing trading for a little bit. And that's when I lost a decent amount here on TYME and ASNS, both at the same time. They were both good shorts, but they just didn't work. And I didn't cut them when I should have cut them. I just let them ride because I was like, it's a swing trade. It'll work eventually. And it just never did. And I ended up taking pretty decent losses on them. And then just started doing this. And then OCX, I think this is around when I found Kevin on YouTube. Who the F knows where he is now. But that was when I found out about ISW scanners. And I think OCX was like right when I first got the scanners, but I didn't know how to use the scanners at that point. Essentially, I was like just learning, or I literally just gotten them, and I saw OCX was on there. I actually got into it in the pre-market, added to it going into the bell. Just saying that out loud, let alone it was 500 shares, and then added 500 shares more on something that was moving like a dollar in the pre-market, like back and forth. I was up pretty big, and I'm sure you guys, most of you have heard this story already. Yeah, I love hearing this story. I was obviously, if you go back and watch my earlier videos, you'll see that my son was with me, and I was trading, and it was working. I was up like $250, and it came down to a support level. Actually, let me see if I can just find. I wonder if it'll load the chart. I don't know if it will, because I don't think it had the timestamps. I think it's just going to put all the entries together. But we shall see. Yeah, it's probably going to put them all together. Well, no, it did it right. These aren't the right times, though. But I mean, that's what it looked like, however. But it is on a day chart. I wonder, it's probably too far away, like time-wise, for it to go lower. But we got in 500 shares in the pre-market here, I think. And then I don't know, it was one or the other. I don't remember if it was which way it was. I mean, I guess maybe this will tell us. Yeah. So we added to it as it went against us because we were short. But as you can see, it was moving quite a bit. It went from 350. I mean, we basically bottom ticked that candle. That's so bad. It was like 350 all the way up to 7, almost 7. And so here's the story. We get in, we obviously add to it, and it comes back down, and it looks like it's going to break the low. And keep in mind, we had 1,000 shares going into the bell. But at the bell, it went up. I remember that it went up just a little bit, and then it starts to come back down, and it looks like it's going to break those lows. And as it's doing that, I'm up like $250. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to break that low. We're going to fill that gap to the downside. I don't even think I was thinking that because I didn't know what that was at the time. I just thought it had a lot of room to the downside. And potty. And I'm like looking at him. I mean, how old was he then? He was 2. He was 2 at the time. It's like one of the only words he knew at the time. Potty. Now keep in mind, this is a 2-year-old. Like, I'm pretty sure he was like freshly 2. And I mean, I could just look at the date, but it doesn't matter. He was like already potty trained. And I remember like asking him, I was like, can you go? Can you go sit on the potty? And he's like, help. Like, he wasn't saying help, but you could tell that's what he was asking for help. Because he wanted to get up onto the seat that you put on the seat for kids to go to the bathroom. And so I was like, all right, it's whatever. I'll get up, go take him to the potty, put him on the seat, and then come back. So I go to do that, and I was asking him, poop or pee, and he just said he had to pee. So I was like, I'll just wait, let him pee. I'll take him back down. Of course, his potty was upstairs. I was downstairs in the living room. So I take him upstairs, goes to the bathroom, pulls his pants down, goes to the bathroom, pulls his pants back up, wash hands, come back downstairs. It was 3.5, 4 minutes. Well, in those 3.5, 4 minutes, I was thinking, obviously my heart was pumping like, hurry up, kid. We need to get back downstairs so I can, probably not miss the breakdown. Like, in my head, I was thinking it's going to break. I was giving it time to break. It was just a matter of getting back down to make sure I didn't miss the move in case it didn't want to break and continue. Like, it wanted to try to go back up. I get back and it's halted to the upside. It was like $1.20 against me. So what was my average? 383? No. 3. I guess that would have been my average, right? 383? Yeah. So, yeah, 383.5. So it halted up at 4, because I remember it was $1,200 on the unrealized. So it was halted at basically $4, a little over $4. Or no, $5. Sorry. And my heart sunk. I mean, it just sunk. Keep in mind, my account was doing okay at the time. Like, I was up around, I want to say like $4,000 or something like that. Looking at this chart, it went all the way up to 7. And if you do the math, $383 minus, we'll just do 7. So 317 times 1,000, that's $3,170. SureTrader and CMake both had the same thing when SureTrader was still around, where they liquidate your position if you get below $500. I had $4,000 in my account, so I got within $330 at $7 of being margin called. And had I been margin called, I would not be sitting here talking to you right now. I had no more money. I had nothing. This was my going all in and getting bailed out on the river. Even though I didn't end up winning a pot per se, I'm using a poker reference, I got lucky that this thing, like, if you go look at the chart, it had every indication that it was going to break 7. I mean, it went up, consolidated near it, started to curl, the like up, comes down a little bit, starts to curl, and it looked like it was just going to go. And at this point, I was a deer in headlights. Like, when it went up and halted, from that moment, I just watched it all day. I just sat there and watched it. And if you go back and watch my first video on YouTube, you'll see that I'm still in the position. I don't remember how many shares, but it's at the end of that day, SureTrader had to liquidate part of my position because I wasn't within the 2-to-1 margin restriction, whatever it was. They charged me, it was like $75 to do that. It was something stupid like that. I was like, are you kidding me? Um, but yeah, it was something stupid like that. But that's what this arrow is. That was at 3:30 in the afternoon. They liquidated how many shares? 291 of my 1,000 shares at 578. So it came back down to 578. And at this point, I was starting to feel better. Like, okay, this might actually come back down. I wasn't thinking it was going to come all the way back down to my average per se, but I was thinking, okay. And when they liquidated, I had totally forgot about it. You know, I'm still a noob at this point in trading. You know, I actually called them. I was like, why'd you take shares from me? And, you know, they explained the 2-to-1 thing to me. And I was like, okay, I get it. And now I'm paying, you know, their outrageous fees for holding a short overnight, which was like, I don't even remember what it was, but for the remaining shares, it was like $17 or something, like every night that I held it. And it got less when I started taking some shares off, but you'll see it started to come down, and I tried to be as patient as I could. And I think it was like, you can see it was down here, but then it started to get bought back up. And I was like, well, when it went through 5, I took some off because I didn't want to chance it, you know, running all the way back up. I didn't want to let the full position go all the way back. So took some off, and then I tried to be patient. It found support probably right around that same area. So I took some off there, which was another 259 to give me exactly 200 left. And I tried to ride those down as far as I could. And you can see it found support here. And then I'm assuming I got out seeing that it wanted to try to go higher. I mean, ultimately it did end up coming back down even further. But yeah, that was a tough one. That was when I learned to never walk away from your computer if you're way too big a size and something that can move that fast. And yeah, definitely one for the record books. That was my biggest loss by far on any ticker. But yeah, that was a fun one. I don't even know how we got on that subject, but now you heard it. If you hadn't heard it already. Was I a bull in the beginning? Well, yeah, I didn't even know what shorting was, just like most people. I mean, most people that just start, they don't even know what shorting is. A lot of people think that shorting is a bad thing. Like, why would you ever short? And I mean, I'm not necessarily saying like morally it's a good thing, but I mean, when you're just day trading and you're shorting, I don't really see an issue with it. I mean, it's no different than someone just selling their long position, because I am going to buy it back at some point. So I feel now, if you're like long-term short on a company, like GME, before what happened, and you're literally just driving this thing into the ground. I mean, yeah, I could see how people would morally think that's, you know, not cool. But at the same time, I also don't see why shorting, day trading is a bad thing. But, I mean, I'm actually curious. There's 1,795 trades is how many trades I've taken in my total trading career. Let's see how many of those are short. So it's 1795, just so I have it. Side short. 1,660. That's crazy. Divided by 1795. That's 92.5% of my trades are short. And that's even when I didn't even know what shorts were for the first X amount of times, or X amount of months when I first started trading. That's crazy. I wonder if I'm even green on the long side. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say I do not long well. I'm actually curious. I mean, I have to scroll all the way down. It's only 135 trades, so say my biggest win was down here. There it is, right there. Is this a QTT? I feel like there was a bigger one. NUA was an overnight. That was my first day trading. That was it was a huge dump, and I bought it overnight, and I was up like $1,000 on it when I woke up in the morning, because I was like so petrified. I didn't sleep that night at all. I was on at 4 o'clock, and it started going up and up and up, and I couldn't get it. because Sure Trader didn't open until 9 o'clock. So I had to wait till 9 o'clock, and by the time 9 o'clock came around, it had come all the way back down from probably like, I think it was like $14 or something. But I was up $1,000 on this trade, and I only ended up making 463 on it because I couldn't trade. And that was that. I remember saying, I was like, that's when I go to a U.S. broker eventually in the future, I was like, I will be able to trade all hours. But now I don't trade pre-market and after hours really anymore. I don't think it was QTT was the pre-market trade, but it might have been. I thought it was a cheaper stock. Like, I don't think it was a $12 stock. I thought it was like a $5 one. There it is, NCTY. Yeah, see, wasn't that the one that ran today? Weren't we watching that today? I want to say we did. Yeah, this was a pre-market trade. I bought in at 640 for, I want to say 500 shares, and then I just kind of leaked out of it. Like I took, I think, a bulk of it. Yeah, 250, then 125 and 125. It was pre-market. Oh, look, this has the 1 minute chart. Where are the oh, see. It's the time, because going from journal to journal when I was first doing it, I just put in whatever time, so it's not the right times. But this was the move. And it should be in pre-market. Yeah, you can see it was in pre-market. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was this move. It had to be over here somewhere because I couldn't trade until maybe it was 7:30 for Sure Trader. I don't remember. It was definitely this move, obviously. So it had to have been this one because it had to be 7:30. There's no way I traded it all the way back here. And then it just kept going. I mean, I guess I can tell you. What was the entry? 640, and then took some off 692. So let's see. Oh wait, this isn't right. Look at the price. Have they done like a split since then? I bet, yeah, they probably did a 10-to-1 split, or yeah, split. Because if it's at $6 now, that wouldn't make any sense. Is this the right day? I'm just confused. Like I don't. Well, yeah, it says October 19th of 18. So yeah, they must have done a split since then. So I bought at 690, which would have been like right here, and then it just went up from there. That's definitely what it was. It's the only thing that would make sense. But yeah, I feel like that was way long. Jesus, 12:10 already. I knew him when he wore a cap. Alrighty, I'm gonna get out of here. Yep, see you, Thomas. I appreciate y'all being here. As always, don't forget the like button on the way out. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Hopefully you guys have something fun planned. I have nothing planned tomorrow for the first time in months. So it's definitely going to be like a relaxed day tomorrow. And then Sunday, we have my wife's father's company picnic where they're having all you can eat crabs. But they're first come, first serve, and they always run out when they do this. So pretty excited for that. We're going to get there nice and early. Going to eat me some crabs. And that's all I got for the weekend. Hopefully you all have a good weekend as well. And I will see you guys Monday morning. Appreciate you being here. The heck did I hit? Oh, I hit stream starting. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully. Let me hit full screen again. There we go. Hopefully the stream is not just starting, it is ending. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday morning. Peace.